Thank you.
We got Tom. What the hell? I need an adapter. Hang on.
Is your one stuck in over here?
Let's get a commercial and I'm gonna run down and get.
I might need two sets if I've got somebody else.
Here, Betsy.
Thank you. So I also want to
Definitely need one more though.
the lead into the Verge Osbury thing. I was going to do Peyton's song "Luck of the Draw." I got his permission to do that.
We got 10 seconds. I gotta put you down. Hang on. Go ahead, Betsy.
And good morning. You're at the Talk 107.3 FM morning show, usually with Brian Haldane. But today, guess what? You got me, Betsy Barnes. Happy to be here with you this morning on this rainy Monday morning. Thank goodness most of the schools are out, so the kids don't have to be at the bus stop getting wet. We have a fantastic show, great lineup. We've got some good advice and information for business owners and entrepreneurs. We have a fantastic interview with Verge Osbury that Brian and I did on Friday. And, we're 82 days, just 82 days from the kickoff, September 5th, for the LSU Fighting Tigers. So I'm wearing my purple. I'm wearing my tiger belt. I'm in the studio with Bree Lynn. She is producing.
Good morning.
Yes, it is a good morning. A little bit of spit and rain, but you know what? It could rain till Wednesday, but we don't care, do we? We do not care because we know that it's going to rain most every afternoon.
It was hard to get out of bed this morning, Betsy.
It was.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm dragging today, but to get out of bed knowing it's raining on a Monday when you just want to sleep in.
I look at it as a positive thing. If you're with the one you love and maybe you work remotely and you don't have to get in the car, just snuggle in, bring them a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever you like to drink, and just enjoy this morning time together. I really kind of like the rain, especially when you're starting to fall asleep or an afternoon nap. But this is not going to be a bad day. This is going to be a great day. This is going to be a fantastic day. We just have to take a little extra time when we're driving. So I want to tell you a little bit about today's show. Actually, when Brian invited me to guest host for him, I was thrilled because I always love being in the studio with you.
Yeah.
And I had a few different people that I really wanted to share what they're doing because what they're doing is pretty amazing. And one of the things that Dr. K. Solar and I previously did on Rocket Right Radio on Talk 107.3 FM, where we started, and then later also on the Pelican Network, syndicated across Louisiana. What we did is we shared some extraordinary people doing extraordinary things, a lot of artists and musicians, and that is in my soul. I just have a radio soul that I want to share the good things people are doing and not focus on all the bad, criminal, bad news, stuff. I just think that after a while, you just get so inundated with it. It's just not good. But look, it's the 250th birthday of America. There's a lot of companies that have been in business 50 years. There's a lot of people that are doing extraordinarily generous things, expecting no thanks, no appreciation. So we're going to talk about some of the things going on in the news. But at 6:25, we're going to talk with Louis Avallone. He is one of the two hosts of American Ground Radio that's heard right here on Talk 107.3 FM at 10 to 11 each night. So it is heard, American Ground Radio is heard in 48 markets, recently launched in Washington, D.C., on the Answer radio station. It's actually AM, so it is 570 AM, as well as New York City. Now, why is that significant? Well, it's significant because there are strong Louisiana voices in Washington, D.C., in New York, in politics. And here is another talk show. This is a conservative Christian radio talk show talking about the things that make America great. And every year at 4th of July, they do a What Makes America Great 3-hour show. And so Louis is going to tell us a little bit about that. I'm also proud to say I'm the executive producer of that show. So I'm very, very fortunate that I've gotten to do some different things in radio and doing some things that are national. And so I'm thankful for that because I look at our country and I look at the people that have served us, the people that have protected us and that protect our rights. And I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a Louisianian, and I'm proud to be from Baton Rouge. So after we speak with Lewis a little bit later, we're going to be talking with Carrie Simone. She is a director, a screenwriter, a producer. She's got another book signing for her fourth book. And she and her family, actually her brother, are the founders of Ardent Flame Media. She just finished producing actually producing a movie called Life is My Choice. She also wrote that. It was directed by Kevin Sorbo. And I think we talked about that, Brie Lynn, the last time that I was here.
I think so.
Yeah, we did. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we're doing when we come back. We're going to be right back. So hang tight with the Talk 107.3 the Talk 107.3 FM studio at the 180 Pros studio. We look forward to talking to you in just a second. We'll be right back.
Need 60 seconds to tell you about the folks over at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. You will find them online at flybtr.com. What do you get when you fly out of the Baton Rouge Metro Airport? Well, I'll tell you this. A ton of convenience and a ton of great service. Both of those things, which, by the way, when you're flying anywhere, you want to consider the whole picture, not just the blanket ticket price, but the whole picture when you're traveling, whether you're traveling for business, whether you're traveling for pleasure. Do you really want to drive an hour down the interstate to get to the airport? Do you really want to drive an hour back after flying back home again? Do you really want to pay exorbitant parking prices and deal with the mass of humanity that is TSA down there? Or would you rather stay in your backyard, on your own backyard, support a local business, and take advantage of great deals all the while? You can learn more at flybtr.com. Don't forget there is a direct flight to our nation's capital. Leaves for D.C. at 7 a.m., comes home the same evening. You don't even need to book a hotel room. Learn more at flybtr.com.
I'm gonna put Betsy back. You still on Facebook, Betsy? The board. This is not the usual show. Normally, Brian will read it. If that makes sense. So what you're learning right now is going to feel off-putting because Brian's not here. If that makes sense. And so when Brian gets back, I would love to have you kind of sit back in, and then I'll show you how I run Brian's shows, and maybe the next day I'll let you run it with me, and I'll kind of walk you through. All right, touch this. All right, we're doing this. I don't know unless I don't know about you, but this is a little cheat sheet. Once again, Brian's not here, so we're not doing top stories. I can't show you that, but right now we're breaking in the stack. When we come back in, I'm always going to do his regional music back then. Brian would normally do sports, but I'm going to try to go ahead and do sports here. So I'll go to my handy dandy chat. I do know the next one, but besides that, we start sports segment, and chat knows me by now. If I log in, chat does know me by now. That 1 second dead air, I'm like, it's just because this pot needs to be trimmed.
Do you want to pull up that song of Peyton's called Luck of the Draw? Do you want me to send it to you?
Send it to me. What am I
It's on
playing next?
Spotify. We're going to use it for Verges, before and after Verges.
Okay. Like as bumper music. Okay. Too many quick sports. LSU Southern. Saints, also national. Yes.
I'm going to give you the number for us to call this third guy that's supposed to be in this interview. I really don't like doing three people, one on the phone and two in the studio. But they asked if we could somehow make it work. I said, we'll try.
We'll make it work. They are not working. Matters are out. We're not gonna. I'll just talk about the next. I'm gonna jump in, Betsy, and I'm gonna do a quick sports thing, and then I'm gonna toss it to you. We're gonna have roughly.
What time do I need to tell Louis Avalone to come in?
What time is he?
I had him at 6:25, but we can modify that. We can.
Just walk in.
No, he's on phone.
He's on the
He
phone.
will be on the
Tell
phone.
him to call me. Tell him to call me at 6:20, and I'll just drop him on hold until we're ready for him. I'm gonna go in first. Yep.
Talk 1073 WBRP, Breland producing on the other side of the board. Betsy Barnes in for Brian Haldane. Mornings with Brian Haldane without Brian Haldane. Today is going to be so exciting. Betsy will be hosting for today. And I'm going to go ahead and say the quick rundown for this week. So we have Central's Mayor Wade Evans going to be sitting in tomorrow. That's going to be so much fun. And so he is doing the show tomorrow. Wednesday, we have the beloved attorney Franz Borchardt with the Borchardt law firm. So he's going to be doing things and holding things down on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to have Haggai Davis sitting in for a full, what would we go ahead and say, in a big old bowl of tech gumbo? But it won't be all tech, of course.
It's a big pot of gumbo.
A big pot of gumbo. There we go, Betsy. A big old pot of gumbo. And then Brian Haldane will be back on Friday morning. So good morning. So Betsy, before I give the mic back to you, normally we would do sports at this time. I'm not going to go into too much of what's happening locally. We do know our LSU Tigers, our football team, they are preparing steadily for football season.
82 days.
I know. So they are behind the scenes in the practice facility working on all things to get ready with our new head coach.
Well,
Lane Kiffin.
I cannot wait for this season. I love that they brought Coach O back. I love that. And I
Go
told
Tigers.
that, yes, go Tigers. Coach Cookie Monster. I just love the energy that he brings. And we talked about that with Verge Osbury, and we're going to be playing that around 7:15, 7:20. I had a good half hour, very generous with his time, shared so many of the superstar athletes, athletic directors, and others that have influenced him and shaped his life and his leadership style. And clearly, Verge Osbury is an excellent leader. So I think he was very well prepared for that job. But can I give a little shout out to kind of a faraway team from LSU?
Yes.
Carolina Hurricanes. I was there when they won the Stanley Cup 20 years ago. I'm a big ice hockey fan. My son was on the little Hurricanes team. I got a flag from the national championship. I met Wesley, the guy, I literally have a picture with the Stanley Cup from 20 years ago. So I'm excited that they won. I'm excited for the Knicks and the Knicks fans. And just when people say they couldn't do it.
I know.
And
that's what I was going to get to. The story everybody's talking about. The Knicks are champions after decades of waiting. New York knocked off San Antonio in 5 games to win the NBA title. My dad's a Spurs fan, so he was taking that hard.
Sorry, Daddy.
I know. The Knicks closed it out with a 94-90 win over the Spurs, giving the franchise, Betsy, its first championship since 1973.
Don't you love it?
I love it.
They dug in. They weren't giving up. And, my son just moved from New York back home for a short time in between segues and other projects that he's doing. I'm really glad he wasn't there because it kind of went crazy there.
There were people tearing cars apart and walking around with doors to car. I'm not even kidding. Like they were, they
just don't know how to party good like we do. We're professionals. We don't tear people's stuff up. We don't. We know how to hold our liquor. So, that's the shame of it is that people innocently lose something valuable to them that, somebody was celebrating. I don't call that a celebration, but, but I'm happy for the Knicks fans. And there's a lot of them all over the country. But hey, we got Tiger fans all over the world.
We do.
World Cup fans too.
Yes. Yeah. The Stanley Cup. And then, of course, you have the FIFA World Cup going on as well. The men won against Paraguay on Friday evening. So that was real fun to watch. We went to a casino to watch the game, my husband and I. But yeah, around the world, NFL teams continue mandatory mini camps right now. Baseball's heating up. Betsy alluded to it. Yes, football is getting closer. We're going to have a wonderful interview with Verge Osbury, and the sports calendar is just getting packed as the summer rolls on.
Yeah,
so
it is. And so we are going to be also talking with, as I mentioned a moment ago before the break, Carrie Simone with Ardent Flame Media, who wrote a movie that was just directed by Kevin Sorbo, Hercules. And so that was a great experience. I really, really enjoyed being there on set. I really did. And then we're going to be talking with Milton Klein, Peter Carson Bankston, and their other business partner about Value Mate AI. So we're going to be right back in just a minute. Stay tuned. Talk 107.3 FM. We are in the 180 Pros studio.
Guarantee Health Solutions, guaranteehealth.com is the website, guaranteehealth.com. If you own a medical office, a medical practice, if you work in the office at a medical practice, you need guaranteehealth.com. Here's what this is. This is a way to grow your business the right way. This is a way to grow your business with a patient first mentality. This all started when owner and founder Rachel Fricky went through basically a tragedy in her own family, and the medical end of it was sterile. It was transactional. It was devoid of human touch. Rachel said there's got to be a better way. So she's adopted a more hospitable approach, built out pillars to build your business, and it is effective, y'all. Guarantee Health is growing nationwide right now by taking care of your patients first. If you want to learn more about how they do things, give them a look. Guaranteehealth.com. Guaranteehealth.com. Whether you talk about an urgent care or a dentist office or anywhere in between, guaranteehealth.com.
Because you're like, what is going on right now?
Can I give you her number?
Yeah, give me her. Hold on. Go ahead, Betsy.
And good morning. You're here with Betsy Barnes on Talk 107.3 FM in the 180 Pros studio. Good morning. We're glad to be with you on this somewhat rainy day. It might be raining for a couple of days, but that's okay. It's all good, and we're going to have a good time this morning. So we have some really neat guests that we want to share with you, some people doing some really good things. Later on in the last hour of the show, we're going to have Jean Trump talking about how you can save significant money as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and cost segregation if you own a business, commercial property or rental property. And she's going to be coming on around 8:05. We have Verge Osbury, LSU Athletic Director Extraordinaire. We're going to play a few minutes of that around 7:15 or so. We also have the founder of Red Reed Vodka and Distillery. So we're really looking forward to speaking to and me introducing you to James Williams, who really has got some cool things going on. He's put together a deal with United Cajun Navy, and he's going to be telling us about that to help benefit them. We're going to be talking shortly with Milton Kleinpeter and Carson Bankston, as well as another partner of theirs, the techie guy, about an AI app that has launched nationally out of Baton Rouge. This is a business valuation app. So basically, if you own a business or you want to buy a business or you want to sell a business, you need to know exactly what the bank would have in mind for you to be able to do that. If you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, or somebody that maybe has had a business for 40 years, 30 years, 50 years, and you're thinking, my kids really don't want this business, I want to think about finding the true value, this app can do that for you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it. I think you're going to be a little bit surprised at what it's able to do. And in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Louis Avalone, who is the host of American Ground Radio that's heard right here on Talk 107.3 FM. We're going to talk with Louis about the 250th birthday of America, as well as what makes America great, and how did they take this Shreveport-based 2-hour-a-day talk show for the last, I think, 8 or 9, 10 years. How did they take that into a nationally syndicated show across independent and the Salem Network radio stations? Well, it seems there's a lot of people who kind of agree with common sense politics, common sense money management. I happen to be one of those people. I really like the idea that we can all make a difference in the way that we do business by applying the principles of the United States Constitution and that of the Bible. Some of those principles I think are a good thing. You know, Brie Lynn, when we talk about a lot of the things that happen and go wrong, it's usually because it's not following a good moral code, or it's not following a good ethics code, or something like that. You don't have to be a Christian to want to do the right thing in business. You don't have to be any particular faith to do the right thing in business. So when you talk about doing business the right way, giving a true value of your business you're trying to sell, that would be doing the right thing.
Yep.
And so how do you find that out if you don't work with a business broker or with a banker? There's a lot to it, but there's a way to make it simple in this AI app called ValueMate AI. It's on the Apple
That's
Store.
Interesting.
It's so cool. And we're going to talk to the men that created it. And this national launch is going to be huge because it doesn't matter what state you're in. So let's say we live here. We want to buy a business in Florida. Let's say a laundromat near the beach or a college.
Yep.
We want to know the real true value of that. We want to know we're paying the right price for that. We want to know how we can get financing based on what we have. So I think that that's a tool that you can use that's free. And it makes such a difference to actually know where you stand, right? It's like when you don't look at the money you have and you don't look at the money you owe, you're just living in fear. But if you actually look at what you have and what you need and what you want to do to grow your family's generational wealth, it's hard in America to do that.
It is hard.
Yeah. But if you can, and you have the right tools, I mean, there are some AI tools I think are probably very helpful. I think this would be one that would be very helpful. And so I know the owners of this, we talked about it. And when they were ready to do their national launch, I was like, I would love to have you tell everybody about it. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's incredible. I'm just trying to take it all in, you know, because 20, 30 years ago, you didn't have these tools.
No.
And so
5 years ago, you
yes,
didn't have these tools.
no.
You have to go to a banker and say, let me show you all my paperwork. And they're like, let me talk to your CPA.
Yep.
You know, I could be really great at a particular skill. Let's say I'm a plumber. I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm not a plumber. Okay. I might be great at being a plumber, but that doesn't mean I understand how banks think about money and the
Yep.
value of businesses. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm really excited that we have the chance to do that because it makes such a difference in when you're going to buy or sell a business. I can tell you right now, I definitely do not want to buy something and it's a clunker. You know what I mean? Where they made it look good. It looks and it's a hoopty. I don't want to buy a business that's a hoopty or a clunker. So I want to make sure that I know exactly what that is. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we understand the freedom framework. And what does that mean for you and your business and your family? We're going to talk with Milton Kleinpeter and Carson Bankston about that. And so I'd like to know, kind of as you're thinking about this morning, what makes America great? What do you think makes America great?
Gosh, that my boys can grow up in a nation and be whatever they want. If they want to take
Yeah.
over dad's business, they can. If they want to come work in radio, God bless, they can. If they want to be a lawyer or a doctor, they can do what they want to do here in America. Other countries have what they call universal health care. And it's just, I wouldn't even know the beginning of what it's like to live in another country. And so to me, what makes America great again, what makes America great, in my opinion, is that they can grow up and be whoever they want to be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm especially fond of the First Amendment, where we have the right to express ourselves. There's many countries where women cannot get educated. They are held back from that. They definitely do not have any type of freedom of speech. And they can actually lose their life over saying something that somebody else doesn't like. So I'm thankful for that. And that to me is what makes America great, is the Constitution that protects us. So we're going to be right back on the Talk 107.3 FM studio. Good morning. Hang tight with us. We'll be right back.
So at the bottom of the hour, we always do ABC News. Fox News, you're only going to air once during Brian's show. Oh, you're only going to air Fox News once out of Brian's show, and that's always at Fox 6:20, and that came out of Selector 2. Now, from here on out, at the 50s, it'll be Your Money Now, and that'll come out of Selector 2. And that's everyone there. LRA comes out of this day. So what I'm gonna do is we have been done with Fox since right here.
Lewis is trying to call in. He's getting a busy signal.
That's probably because of the phone issues. Okay. What is his number? And I will hold on. Don't say it yet. That's it.
What?
Melanie Bond says, "Hey Beth."
Oh, hey. So I'm glad y'all are watching. Feel free to just put in the chat what you think makes America great, or any other thing you'd like to share this morning. We'll be happy to share it.
And the show runs totally different. But it's okay. I know you're overly. I'm gonna fire off Brian's endorsement and then come to you.
What?
I'm gonna fire off Brian's endorsement, then come to you.
Okay, that'll be fine.
So obviously, I have to put up Adobe. That needs to be done. We've been done with ABC. Now, because we're about to go to a phone guest, I'm gonna turn that on. Leave that program one. It's not gonna go on the air until I hit this. And you'll see. Normally Brian would do it on his side because he has a phone on his side. So this is on hold right now, and this right here is how I can talk on the headset. When it comes on this, it goes on the air.
From Denham Springs, America means community. To show up for your neighbors, the freedom to celebrate everybody's differences, and the freedom to stand together when it counts.
Celebrating 250 years of America, remembering our past, embracing our future, and sharing it with you right here on Talk 1073. Talk 1073 weather. A very unsettled pattern will be in places weak rain, widespread rain, with some locally heavy downpours. A flood watch is now in effect. Highs reach low to mid-80s. Showers will continue overnight with lows dropping to the 70s. Rain likely again Tuesday with heavy rains on and off. Highs will reach the low to mid-80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms continue into the midweek with some locally heavy rain possible. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Storm station forecast.
These industries on the fire up there.
Reporting results. He's about doing the work before, during, and after the vote. In 2026, Talk 1073 did it again, winning their 6th LAP Prestige Award for the best election coverage. Trusted, proven, award-winning, local. Talk 1073.
I need 60 seconds to tell you about the folks over at Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is the website. If you are wondering who Industry Makes is, I'm happy to tell you. Industry Makes is a campaign born out of collaboration and a need to present a united industrial front in the face of coordinated anti-industrial messaging. At Industry Makes, they understand that anti-industrial messages might target one company or they might target several, but it's a hit to the whole industry. So who's speaking up on industry's behalf? The folks in industry themselves, they're busy working. They're busy making the products that the world uses. They're busy employing our neighbors. So who's speaking up on their behalf? IndustryMakes.org is speaking up on their behalf. If you want to learn more, if you want to become an ambassador, if you want to do a little bit of myth busting, IndustryMakes.org. Let others make noise. We'll make everything else.
And good morning. You're back on Talk 1073 FM in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, covering all of the area around Baton Rouge. We're so glad to have you with us this morning. I'm Betsy Barnes sitting in for Brian Haldane. We have Bree Lynn in the producer's booth. And
Good morning.
Yes. And she's just such a joy to work with. She's truly a pleasure to be with this morning. So you made it worth the drive in early.
I'm trying. I sure hope so. It was hard for me to get out of bed.
Well, you know what? It's a beautiful Monday. It's going to be a great
Yes.
week. And as my son likes to share, I'm amazing. You're amazing. We're amazing. We're going to do amazing things together. And no one, and I do mean no one, can stop us. So it's that kind of Monday morning. So we have with us on the hotline, Louis R. Avalone. Louis and Stephen Parr are the host of American Ground Radio, which has just caught fire across the United States. So right now, American Ground Radio is heard in 48 markets, and very recently, New York and Washington, D.C. Good morning, Louis. How are you?
Hey, good morning. So glad to take a break here from our show in D.C. and visit with you and all of your listeners.
Well, Louis, you know, it's a huge thing to be able to have the morning drive time in Washington, D.C. So how did that happen?
Yeah.
And you are so blessed to have that opportunity.
Well, you know, this is our 10th year. We're entering our 10th year of American Ground Radio. and we launched it right here from Shreveport in the great state of Louisiana. And, this was actually the first year of Speaker Mike Johnson being an ordinary congressman from the 4th Congressional District back in 2017 when he was inaugurated. And that's when our show launched as well. And, there are a lot of folks probably couldn't place Shreveport on a map back then. Now, of course, with Speaker Mike Johnson, that's all changed. But yeah, American Ground Radio, we started on a local station here in Shreveport, and it's just grown. And I think what folks really like about the show is that, we deal with principles. We're very conservative, very pro-life, all of what you would typically expect the Republican platform to be. But we're not Republican just for the sake of being Republican. We talk about the principles behind all of the news stories of the day and whether or not that's a conservative. It may sound good, but the question is that a conservative principle? Is that going to make our country great again? And I think folks appreciate that more so than, just waking up every morning and saying, okay, I'm going to follow whatever the Republican Party says, but talking about the principles, the underlying foundations that made this country great.
Well, you certainly have a lot of material to draw from when you look at some of the craziness, some of the grift, some of the illegal activities that are kind of around the country, and some of the things that people think they can get away with. And then it kind of makes for really good talk that what were they thinking? Like, why would they do that in some of the ways that some of our federal dollars and maybe even state dollars have been, not Louisiana particularly, but other states have spent. But when you've got strong voices like you and Stephen Parr and American Ground Radio, and you look at Steve Scalise, our majority whip, you look at Senator John Kennedy, and you look at Speaker Mike Johnson, they're funny and they come across with a good sense of humor, but you and Stephen do that very, very well also. You kind of banter back and forth, play the devil's advocate a little bit, but have kind of a cheerful, like, this is kind of crazy nonsense, but let's talk about it sort of things on some of these topics. And I think you play off each other so well. It's entertaining, it's also informative, and it's newsworthy. And so,
Thank you.
How did y'all get together to do this show? Because now, I mean, in 10 years and you're in 48 markets, that's not just cities, that's markets across the U.S., coast to coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast and the Gulf Coast. How how did this start?
Sure. Well, it's a God thing, obviously, as everything is. We crossed paths. I was chairman of the Caddo Parish Republican Party, was for 10 years. And back then, we were, the Republican Party in Caddo Parish was fighting George Soros, who had poured in about $1.5 million into the local Caddo Parish district attorney's race, which George Soros, got his candidate elected. But nevertheless, Stephen was doing some advertising voiceover work, and I crossed paths with him and set him up to do an ad basically opposing the George Soros candidate. And at the end of all that, I said, hey, what are you doing? I've got this idea. And that's kind of where this all went. And so, the thing is, we're really not concerned about the folks that go to the cocktail parties in Georgetown. We're not trying to win over the editors of the New York Times. We have spent almost 10 years talking to hardworking Americans who get up every morning, go to work, raise their families, go to church, coach Little League, pay their taxes, serve their community, and believe that this country is still worth fighting for. And of course, we're on Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. right here on this station.
And in Louisiana, from about 5 a.m. until about 10 o'clock at night, you can hear the show somewhere throughout the state, statewide. So, Louis, thank you so much for doing what you do. And also tell us just a little bit about the What Makes America Great birthday card that you give to stations all over the country, whether they carry the show or not, for 4th of July weekend. This one being, of course, the 250th birthday of the United States of America.
Sure, sure. So we do a 3-hour show that we give away basically, and we've got all sorts of very, very special guests. We started the show. One of our guests, of course, he's very different than Tucker Carlson. In fact, he was our very first guest. And what that show is all about is asking every guest, what do they believe makes this country great? And the follow-up question is, when did you realize this nation was something exceptional?
Mm-hmm.
And very simple questions, but the answers they are as unique as your fingerprint. And it has been a joy and a pleasure now for coming up on our 10th year to host this show and dozens of very special guests.
Well, Louis, thank you so much for being with us. We've been talking with Louis R. Avalone, host with Stephen Parr for American Ground Radio, a Louisiana-based conservative talk show that is now heard East Coast to West Coast, Gulf Coast, and all across America. Thank you so much, Louis, for being with us. And I'm proud to be an executive producer on your show. I'm proud of the work you do. And I just thank you so much for taking a few minutes from your DC morning show to talk with us right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Betsy. Thanks for all you do. Take care.
Okay, take care. We'll talk to you soon. And
Okay.
we're going to be right back with Carrie Simone. Carrie is an author. She is a director, a producer, a screenwriter. And so we are going to be talking with Carrie right now. Oh, Carrie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Good morning,
Hi,
my
everyone.
friend.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
How's your listening audience? Good morning, everybody.
Well, Carrie, I want to share with people some of the projects that you're working on. We may have to take a commercial break and carry you over. We'll carry over Carrie. And I just want to tell you that I can't wait to hear a little bit more about your 4th book and your book signing, but also share with people what you have just produced and co-directed, assistant directed with Kevin Sorbo, the Life is My Choice movie, which is a pro-life, faith-based film. So thank you so much for bringing to light some of the topics that you do in your books and in your movies.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you and to be on the show.
We're going to be right back with Carrie Simone of Ardent Flame Media, and we're going to hear a little bit more about Life is My Choice. Hang tight here on Talk 107.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Hey, Karen, you want to take a break, but we're going to be coming right back to you, okay? Okay. All right, hang tight.
Women's line shouldn't hold up before a judge, and his line shouldn't hold up with you. Women hasn't just been lying.
I'm going to tell you, what I'm doing, I need to post it on the website. Do you know how to use it? Have you used it before?
I'll be able to pick it up. I do all my work.
Yeah, it's fairly easy to use. To me, it's easier to use than Premiere. Premiere and Adobe are my two. What I'm doing is I'm just saving it in the files folder. Now, after we get all this off, we go to your money now. And it's on there. So I'm going into red. And then I'm gonna bump back into the show.
So that's your money now, right now.
Yeah. That's fine now. Normally, we're running like 5 seconds late, but she would normally come in. This is your money now.
Okay, that's what I was like you came in when it was already.
Yeah, we came in like 5 seconds too late. Because we came in, I hit the break 6:47 in like 30 seconds. If that makes sense. So I was too late coming in at 47.
Were you already up on your money now?
No, I'll fix it. Because there's something else that plays, and we can't figure it out. There's something else that plays out of that pot, and it's like just some wind that rumbles sometimes. So if we come in way too early, it'll sound weird on the air. Like they'll stop
That's what I was
talking.
wondering if if the commercials finishing and she's like talking or if people, I didn't notice what they were doing.
I know,
I
right?
need to send you Peyton's song for Virgil's thing.
Still raining outside. Goodness.
The times right here, 6:30 to 6:47. That's the time for the bump to the house.
No, so 6:38 to 6:47. That's the time we're on the air. So the blues are when we're on the air, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We are out of commercial, so I'm gonna bump back in. I hit my bump back in.
And we're back on Talk 107.3 FM in the 180s Pro Studio. Good morning. This is Betsy Barnes sitting in for Brian Haldane. I hope Brian's listening. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for the opportunity to share a few of my friends and some of the things that they're doing. Great to be here with Bree Lynn in the studio. We've got some great guests for you, but on the phone right now, we have someone that I truly admire. I absolutely feel it is an honor and a privilege to get to speak with her this morning. This is Carrie Simone. She is an author. She has a nonprofit. She has just finished producing and assistant directing a movie called Life is My Choice. Good morning, Carrie. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's such an honor when we get an opportunity to truly make a difference, and why we need to see that as a priority in our life, focusing on the betterment of things, especially in our state, especially in the film industry, and just in humanity as a whole.
Well, I have been fortunate enough to be on three different sets of movies that you've done, short and longer full feature films. And I have to say that your debut novel of Save Them All and your voice for children and how you inspire others to protect children who are in vulnerable situations. You're continuing to write and produce things that make a difference and that are faith-based is is really just phenomenal. Tell us about Life is My Choice and a little bit about how people could support that film if they'd like to, even though the film has wrapped. This film is going to be debuting nationally. So tell us a little bit about that project.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up. And, I know maybe your your listeners, excuse me, don't know, but they will know that you weren't just on set, you were a part of this film. So I hope they will be supportive of that also, and about the Louisiana film industry as a whole,
Yes.
about bringing content that is inspiring and motivating and in ways that we can change for good, many things in our state. You mentioned about the nonprofits, and so that often deals with abused and neglected children and youth in our state and what we can be doing to make a difference there. And then, of course, with this film, Life is My Choice, it is a pro-life film that focuses first and foremost on the story affirming that every life has purpose and that we should choose truth, even when it's costly, to lead to hope, healing, and redemption. And I love how this story really kind of puts together an ensemble of characters whose lives orbit around that one issue of an unplanned pregnancy and the consequences. So to me, the understanding that we're not trying to just argue ideology, we're trying to humanize every aspect in this. And, we deal with many themes in this particular film, whether it be father's rights, whether it be quote unquote women's health care, redemption through courage and grief. So it's very much story and message driven, that I think will align with audiences that maybe might not have come to just quote unquote a pro-life film, but began to see these characters and these choices in this story. And I feel like it leads with humanity, not just the argument, right? It
Right.
humanizes every side. It shows the consequences of our choices. And so it has a stand, but it avoids, just preaching at people about this particular issue.
Well,
So I think audiences will appreciate that very much.
Well, it's amazing. We only have a couple of minutes, but you were able to get funding for this film. You were able in a short film to get Kevin Sorbo and his wife, Samantha Sorbo, who have their own fairly large production company. The guy who played Hercules, people know him as Hercules. You got him to direct this. He actually asked you to direct this, if he could direct it.
Yeah.
And you wrote it beautifully. You wrote it and did a
Yeah.
beautiful job and produced it.
Well, definitely as a co-writer and co-producer on this, it was an honor. It had actually gone through the film festival circuit, and at one particular one, he was attending it and heard about the film, watched it as a short film, and said, "I want to be a part of it." And we were honored to have him and his wife and his two wonderful children, Braden and Octavia, be a part of this project. and to welcome them into our state and just show them, that the Louisiana culture and what great talent that we have here, and also with our film industry.
And Kevin Sorbo also starred in God's Not Dead, which was also filmed here in Baton Rouge. So people can go to lifeismychoicemovie.com and learn more about it. Carrie, I'm so sorry that we are bumping up against the hour, but I want people to go look up Carrie Simone, spelled like Simon, author.com, and see the work that she's doing. It's truly incredible. And I look forward, Carrie, to seeing you soon. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your passion with us.
Oh, thank you, Betsy, and thank you for being a part of this project, and for all of the talent and the crew that was a part of it. They did an amazing job, and I can't wait for audiences to see it worldwide.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much, Carrie, and we'll talk with you soon. We'll be right back with Talk 107.3 FM talking about Value Mate.
It was until he put something in the system that just said, yeah, that was like, it will not be the ABC. That was never good. So that's what worked out.
Let me grab Milton and Carson.
Okay. And we have somebody on the phone for this one too?
Yes. Let me give you his number. Christian Bryson. 801.
Oh, wait. So we are in commercial right now, and when we come back in, Betsy's gonna take it from here, okay? Okay.
Of course.
that sheet. You're not trying.
And that's so they can all hear each other. Because remember, all the phones have to be on so they can hear each other.
And we are live on Facebook and on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So we'll be able to share it.
Excellent.
That's right.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
So just don't say anything you don't want your mama to hear.
Well,
Hmm.
that's nearly all the time.
Yes. Love that purple shirt.
Thank
That's
you.
really great.
Yeah, I was coming in the downpour this morning,
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. Plus terrible
Yeah.
Baton Rouge drivers.
and I thought I better wear something dark in case I can't get out of the rain.
So that's what I mean.
I'm real good about spilling coffee on me, so I have a backup shirt in the car.
Good
Smart.
good idea.
Yeah. I'm really good at it as well.
Weather. So I just powered hour 2 hotkey, which is 7 o'clock.
Did I send you that song for Peyton? Okay. Did I send you that song from Peyton?
I can't hear you.
Did I send you that song from Peyton?
You need me to do it right here? No, you didn't send me Peyton.
Okay.
I'm not doing it right here though, huh?
We're doing it for Verges.
Okay, send it to me. I'm gonna open you up.
Okay. Thank you.
Talk 1073 WBRP, Breland producing, Betsy Barnes on the mic. It is Mornings Without Brian Haldane. We are going to be in for a stat week this week. Good morning, Betsy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm so
It's
good.
been a pleasure.
I'm so
Yes,
good.
we have a stat week. So Betsy's holding things down for Brian this week.
I am happy to do that.
Yes. Tomorrow we have Central's Mayor Wade Evans going to be hosting things, and I'll be on the other side of the board as always, making sure the ship steers. Wednesday we have normally we would have Legally Served with Franz Borchardt, but we are going to take him and put him as a host for the whole show, which is going to be phenomenal. Franz
Mhm.
always keeps me laughing. He's hilarious. And then Thursday, Haggai Davis. Normally we would have a cup of tech gumbo, but I like what Betsy said last hour, a big old pot.
You got a
of gumbo.
big old pot of tech gumbo.
Yes.
I
and
love Haggai.
I do too. And so we will cover what's going on in the tech world, but Haggai is going to be bringing us so much more. But we have a stats show. Betsy, I'm going to leave it to you. Take it away with our interview at this time.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Breland. I appreciate it. So in a little bit, we're going to be talking with James Williams, who actually just arrived, and he's with Red Reed Vodka and Distilling. We're going to talk a little bit about his company and how it's benefiting the Cajun Navy, and we're going to talk with Verge Osbury, and that interview will be shortly. But we have something, if you are a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, thinking about buying businesses, thinking about selling business, you have got to listen to these guys talk about what they've created. ValueMate AI was created by Milton Kleinpeter, Carson Bankston, and Chris Gilseth.
Yes.
And we have Chris Gilseth on the phone. We have these guys in the studio. Thank you so much for coming out in the rain this morning. We appreciate it. What is the reason y'all actually created this? Because there's so many people that do not know the value of what they had, and they don't want to buy a business that's a hoopty.
Mhm.
They
Yes,
don't.
that's it.
So tell us how y'all got together to even create this.
So sure. So thanks for having us on, first of
Sure.
all, Betsy. And ValueMate AI was created basically from a conversation that Carson and I had, I guess, a little bit over a year ago around business valuation and some of the problems that he saw as a business broker in his business. And I said, why don't we just apply some technology to this and get through the first couple of steps? So we started having the conversation. Carson's an amazing accountant and mathematician, and he came up with what we call the capital access model. He'll talk about that a little bit later.
Mhm.
Then once we got through our entire tech knowledge, we brought Chris on board to help with development, as well as our development partner, Apps Tango in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that's
Wow.
sort of the genesis of it.
That is amazing. So I love how you pulled this together. And when we talked the other day, you were talking about how people, when they're ready to buy a business or sell a business, they have no idea what language the bank is speaking or what they're asking for. None whatsoever.
Yes. What happened to me is I'm working on transactions. I have a willing buyer, a willing seller. We're excited. And then the deal dies. And after that happened, I didn't like that a bit.
Sure.
And I started trying to figure out why the deal died. And what we learned is if the bank says no, it's dead. So instead of looking at valuation metrics of multiples of this or what's this, I said, why don't we look at what the bank is asking? And from that, we came up with a model that is based on cash flow. And when Value Made AI gives you an indication of value, what it's telling you is what's the value of a bankable transaction that cash flows and services the debt.
And that's how y'all came up with Value Mate AI, which is now on the app stores, Apple, Google Play, all of
correct.
that. And people can download that for free, but you've added more to that. And so I'm curious about the techie part, but I'm curious about what else you're offering. But do we want to bring Chris in to talk about the techie part?
Yeah, why don't we bring Chris in to talk about not only the technology, but also the freedom framework?
Okay, sure. Chris, are you there? Chris Gilseth?
I am.
Oh, all the way from
Absolutely.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you so much. We're
Yep.
glad to have you in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Glad to be here.
So on
Yeah,
the
this is-
tech side, what were you able to do to create this framework of an AI app to make it so easy for people to plug and I guess play or borrow or sell?
Yes.
Yeah, so Carson talked about what we for short call the CAM. And so he essentially reverse engineered how the banks think. And what we had to do was make it so that the initial evaluation that somebody goes through is so easy. Normally, people have to wait for days or even weeks if they go through a professional evaluator. We want to keep it to 15 minutes or less. And so all they have to do is download the app and then put in their last year's financials and so forth. And then our app calculates that in the background and gives that initial evaluation. Now, there are more. That's kind of the top layer, right? You want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of, what's my business worth? That's kind of the first question people have. And then the next question is, if that doesn't look like what I want it to look like, what do I do? And so we're building out some AI tools for that helps with both showing kind of some of the steps they can take. We have an assessment for how ready they are on different areas of their business. And we have also services that can back that up. And one of those is that freedom framework that Milton mentioned. And that's something we're super, super excited about, because if you look at all the transactions that happened last year, the average transaction was about $360,000. Now, if you also look at the statistics on business selling, about 70 to 80% of the businesses that are listed for sale don't sell. If you look at specifically under $500,000 in valuation, there's actually as much as 90% of the businesses that don't sell. And so looking at those two, that means that pretty much you have a slim chance of selling your business. That's not the retirement plan that a lot of people had counted on when they built their business.
Right.
So in our freedom framework, what we're doing, it's a free webinar that we're inviting people to, where we will showcase the things that are blocking that sale, essentially. The reasons that, the top layer reasons, obviously, that people can't sell their business as easily as they think they can. And we will walk them through a couple of things that they can do immediately to start changing that. Now, it's important to know, too, that change doesn't happen overnight. Most people find that it takes 2 to 3 years to prepare for a sale. So a lot of times they come to the table as a broker and say, I want to sell, but they should have come 2 years earlier. So that's kind of the nutshell of the freedom framework of what we're building here as a layer of helping that segment of people that are looking to sell their business actually be able to sell.
And so what y'all have been able to do is kind of accelerate that 2 to 3 year time, because people aren't trying to figure out what to gather with different people who may or may not actually have their best interest in mind, or might not have all the information, or their CPA and the banker, and you're going back and forth. So the Freedom Framework is a free opportunity for people to have like a 1 hour sort of, here's how we do. Tell us about the Freedom Framework and who it's specifically helping the most.
Well, I think you said it best. I was listening on the way in. You said, I don't want to buy a hoopty business.
Right.
And we have a lot of businesses out there. They're great businesses. We're making money, but if the owner leaves, he can't. He hasn't taken a vacation. He works 6-7 days a week. He has the sales relationships. He knows the secret sauce. It would be like me trying to buy Tony's Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I love Tony's and I love Italian, but my name's not Tony and I can't cook.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a great business that's cash flowing.
Yes.
And so it makes sense that they might want to sell that if their family doesn't want to carry it on.
Oh, absolutely.
But Tony's not an accountant.
Yeah. So
Tony's a great cook.
Yeah. So the Freedom Framework comes in and says, hey, we need a cook. We need somebody to run front of house. We need someone in charge of marketing, and we'd love to have somebody else clean the toilets, and somebody needs to do the accounting and bookkeeping. So what the Freedom Framework is doing is coming and giving you an assessment of that. It's a free webinar, so you can see what's going on. And it's okay if you like cooking. That's okay. But let's figure out what a buyer is going to be thinking about when he looks at your business.
So you've got the AI app, Value Mate. So it's VALUMATE. AI. VALUMATE AI. And then you can go download that. You can go to your computer. You can go to your phone, download that. And then you can look at what's offered. And then people can sign up for that webinar.
They can sign up for the webinar.
Free webinar, free app.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so when they sign up for the webinar, it's a 1 hour.
It's a 1 hour webinar, and we're going to take a snapshot of their individual business. They'll get evaluation done at the webinar, and then they can decide to engage with us thereafter. But they'll have a really good snapshot of what their business and where it stands.
Out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes.
Nationally, helping people, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, make a difference in what they're going to do in the next generation of their business. Because there are a few baby boomers.
There are.
And this is really the backbone of America, is the small businesses.
18.5% of the business owners in this country are baby boomers.
Yeah. So that's a great opportunity for young people that know what they want to do, but they have to have the secret sauce. And so thank you so much for coming in. We really do appreciate it. Milton Klein-Peter, Carson Bankston, and Chris Gilseth on the phone. We appreciate it so much. Y'all check it out. ValueMate AI. We'll be right back, and we're going to let you hear the conversation I had with Verge Osbury. We'll be right back on Talk 107.3 FM.
Is it time for your IT to do a 180?
Do you think we covered it?
Yeah, nailed it.
Oh, good.
Nailed it.
And when we're talking about IT, here's what we're really talking about here.
I know that was fast.
No, that was
you as a small business.
I hope we got
owner,
everything
how
like.
protected are you? We've seen headlines recently.
Awesome.
There are
I'll see you
breaches
at
from time to
Madeline.
time. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of them out there.
Yes.
But the
You're
difference is
welcome.
having
You
a
like
Thank
Tony's
IT partner
Italian restaurant?
as opposed
I
to
love
having
every
to
Italian
rely on
restaurant.
something
Is there a bad
happens with your
Italian
IT
restaurant?
provider, they say, yeah,
There
but
are
this
some
is
bad
good.
ones.
But with 180 Pros, when you have an IT partner, their success is based off of your success, and they're right here locally. Say your network goes down, they're on Sherwood. If they have to physically come out to your property, you don't want somebody haul it in from New Orleans or Lafayette. I mean, think about that. Traffic jam on I-10 and your network's down. Oh, you're just bleeding money at that point. So, small business owners, give it a look.
Okay,
Invest
I'm gonna
in an
welcome
IT
Jay.
partner as opposed to an IT provider. Learn more at 180pros.com. Call them locally at 330-2200, 180pros.com.
This is Louisiana.
It's a lie. Brian, the good news about Brian, he knows the structure of this show. So he can actually keep himself on top of each other. He can actually. They do. So that clock right there is what Brian looks at. That's look, you go on that side of the board. Brian has channel 2 up there.
That digital clock is synced with your
Yeah.
master clock in there.
What he'll use though is on his laptop. He has a website that actually shows the real time, and so he can actually run his whole show. That's what helps. So I can truly sit back and be a producer without, if you notice, I'm like,
Yeah.
so coming back in, I'm gonna have to do landmark.
What other shows use this group?
We are syndicated for the rest of it. Moon Griffon comes out of Lafayette, but he is on several stations in Louisiana. He comes in syndicated, piped in. Eric Erickson's piped in. We're live. Kevin Ford has the Let's Go Fishing on Thursday, but I don't think that's in the air. It may be. I don't know if they just do it as a StreamYard video, but it could. It should be on. I think it is on the air. But several shows that are on the talk station.
Okay, if we have that song come in for Verges, and I will.
Since
get
1897,
Verges
Landmark Bank
interview.
has been a community bank. Think about that. That's half of
And
our
we'll
nation's
play as many
lifetime.
minutes
As
as
we're
we
celebrating the
can. If we need to go to a
250th
break,
anniversary
I'll be glad to
of
say
the
we're
United
listening
States of
to-
America, for half that time, Landmark Bank has remained true to their mission of being a community bank. And when you have a community bank, you've got a banker. When you get a community bank, you've got someone you can trust, someone you
can
can
you
shake
open the
hands
door
with,
for
someone you can
John?
look in the eye, sit down with, and map out your future. And they're going to get it because, well, your future is in their backyard as well. They're in your backyard, you're in their backyard. It's part of being a community. So whether you're talking about personal banking, whether you're talking about business banking, whether you're talking about borrowing or saving long-term, whether you're talking about your kid's first checking account or managing your small business, Landmark Bank has got you covered. Hit up landmarkbankla.com, hit the About Us tab, little drop-down menu right there, find the locations. If there's a Landmark Bank in your community, you want to be part of their community. landmarkbankla.com.
Hey. I let that play for a minute. And you're back on Talk 107.3 FM. I am Betsy Barnes, sitting in for Brian Haldane at the 180 Pros Talk 107.3 studio. Here being produced by Bree Lynn. Good morning. We are so glad that you decided to tune in. We have a few people we want to share. And I got to tell you, Friday, Brian and I went to the LSU Athletic Administration Building and were given the most generous time by Verge Osbury. So Verge has been with LSU for 30 years, forever. I think everybody knows who Verge is. Snappy dresser, sharp guy, smooth operator, smooth negotiator. I am so pleased with the things that LSU has been able to do and expand upon, as any true Tiger fan is. So I wanted to share with you this this interview, and the whole interview, the whole 27 minutes, can be heard on talk1073fm.com and demand. You can listen to it in a variety of ways anywhere that you hear this. I wish we would have videoed it because it was really so interesting. But I didn't want to talk to Verge about recruiting so much. I wanted to talk to Verge about leadership. Who mentored you? How were you mentored? Why do you do the things you do? How do you do the things that you do? And he was so generous in sharing that with us. But I want to tell you, the list of names of people that poured into him is inspiring, because they, anytime there's a leader, it just funnels down, and you have great leaders and you have really great followers. You have a great program. And that's what we have at LSU. And it's not just about football. It's about leadership and helping leaders become leaders at LSU. So I am obviously a very proud Tiger fan, but I think that Verge Osbury is the absolute athletic director extraordinaire. So listen to a few minutes of the interview, listen to the full thing in its entirety. but the list of people that have come in and out of LSU is extraordinary. And Verge is going to be referred to in later years as one of those guys that leads people. So here is Verge Osbury, and stay tuned. Hi, I'm sitting here with Verge Osbury, Athletic Director Extraordinaire for LSU. We love the Tigers, right? And Verge, you've had such an incredible history with LSU. You've been here a long time. You've definitely put your print, your imprint of who you are, who you grew up to be right here at LSU, and we're thankful for your leadership. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about your background and what led you in your philosophy, in your values to do the things that you're doing at LSU, because you are really leading a generation, which is going to lead another generation. And so I'm just always fascinated by all the different things you do. And of course, you are the deal maker. You are the rainmaker, and there's a lot of other things that you do. But I want to know a little bit more about your heart, if you don't mind sharing that with me.
You know, I just spoke to some recruits about your narrative and your purpose in life. And I think, you know, we talk about all those things that have been great here. I've been part of 16 national championships. I've been part of 7 SEC football championships, 2 as a player. I've been part of 3 national championships and really 4 games, and we won 3 out of 4. So been a lot of great things happen here. Baseball championships, women basketball championships, golf, track and field, you know, you name them, we've won them here. And all that's good. But you asked about, you know, how it all started. I think I had great parents. I want to go back to that. A great father and a great mother. You know, my dad passed away be 4 years in November. He's 92 years old. He came to LSU Alabama game, the one we won here.
Yes.
And my mother's 91, still living. They both were educators. He taught me the value of education, but he also taught me, you know, in my family about being good to people, how you treat people. And I think I spoke to a group yesterday, young business leaders in this state, about what does it take to get here and how I got here. And just being good to people, even when you have to tell someone no, is how you tell them, and be honest and be transparent. And that's how you work with people, and you guide yourself, and you have to humble yourself. You know, it's Verge Osbury. I tell people I'm just leased out to LSU. You know, I want to make LSU the best. I want to make LSU great. That's my job. It's not about me. It's not about the position I hold. It's about everything I do when I wake up in the morning to make sure that I'm putting LSU first.
But it's a position you earned. I don't think there's any athletic director. Now, this is a little biased, I get, but there is no other athletic director, I think, in the entire United States that was more prepared from being a player and everything you've done. You've touched every corner, just about every corner of LSU in a variety of different ways. You've worked in different departments. You really have been baptized by fire.
A lot of fire. Last 6 months been a lot of fire. Right. I tell people it's been fire, all right. That's a good word. Yeah, you know, it's been I had great leaders, and people put me in the right positions, you know, starting with Mr. Joe Dean, who hired me. And, you know, Joe was a great leader, you know, a guy who ran Converse tennis shoes. People don't realize, you know, Larry Bird, Dr. J. Magic Johnson, those are his first clients. Those was his big clients with Converse tennis shoes. They were the Nike of that day. And he became AD here. He played here. He hired me and gave me my first job in academics. Then I went on to Tiger Athletic Foundation. And a guy by the name of Rick Perry and General Ron Richard, worked with those guys. And then, you know, I had the great one, Skip Bergman. You know, when he became athletic director here, we had a great team. You know, Dan Radakovich, who just retired from the University of Miami. You had Herb Vincent, who was associate commissioner with the SEC. Chris Howard, who works at the NCAA over football. And we hired guys like Eddie Nunez, young Eddie Nunez, a great AD at the University of Houston right now. Mark Ewan, Bo Bonson, Miriam Seagar, who works with us already, Judith Southard, who was AD at Texas Women Institution, we brought in. So Skip did what he did as a baseball coach, put a great team of us around us. And then Skip gave us the ability to go out there and do our jobs. You know, he didn't micromanage. It's too big to micromanage. He taught us. And one thing he taught me was how to work and deal with coaches, because he was a great coach. And the questions you ask coaches, how you work with coaches. And you take this chair, you're not the boss. You know, I don't go around, I'm the boss of everybody. I'm the person who try to help everybody be successful. I tell young people this when I'm talking to them who want to get involved in athletic administration. Why do you want to do this? They say, I love it. It's a passion. It's my family. I go to games. Okay, you know what? All that's good, Danny, but why do you want to do this? I say, every day is not going to be an easy day. I say, you do this for the 500 student athletes to make sure that when they
This is
leave,
John
there's
Trump.
better people. That's why we do the jobs we do.
Bree Lynn,
And I,
also known as
keep
Brittany.
telling people, the athletes, they're the movie stars. The coaches,
If you want to put your bag, if it has a logo on it, if you want to put it right
I
here
don't want to be in the front
or somewhere
I
where it
can't
would
play. I can't make
show,
it
I
more
think
time.
that's a good idea.
I've done that. I've
You've
done
done
that
it.
long.
You've
I've done
done
that.
it.
You know, I
Yeah.
want those
If
young
you want to
men
put
and
it like
women
as the
to have
camera's
all
right
the
there,
success and hold those
you can
trophies
put it
over
on
their
that
heads.
keyboard if you
But
want. It
also,
won't hurt
when they
anything.
leave here,
So if you want to like put it where it'll show, you got to face the other way
though.
though.
We have here right now, who's just look what they're doing in the media world. You look at Ryan Clark.
And John
You look at Booger
Trump.
McFarland.
Yeah.
You look
Did you
at
meet
Marcus
John
Spears.
before?
You look at Jacob Hester.
Yes.
You look at Shaquille O'Neal. You look
Yes.
at
So
Andrew
James is my
Whitworth.
neighbor that
You
invited
know,
us to the
Todd
art
Walker.
show. And
You go
John
Ben McDonald.
and her
You
boyfriend
go
were going
on
to come,
Jared
but then
Mitchell
she
now,
found out he
SEC
was going to
baseball.
support.
You go on and on
That'll
and
be
on.
good. You
And
can lay it
guess
right
what?
there.
You turn TV on.
Wait, there you
LSU
go.
man.
Yeah.
And that's so great for us.
Little
I love
logo
that.
labeling.
That's how I pick who I'm pulling for in the NFL. How many LSU players do they have? Okay, if they don't have any, no.
But that's what we do. You know, at the same time,
The
we
art
deal with
show was
business.
nice.
We're $30 million.
I thought they did a
business
really
here
great
at
job.
LSU
Y'all
here.
did a great
At the
job.
same time that we still
Elle, the
educators. You
co-curator,
gotta be able to
so
blend those
nice.
things together.
I hated
And
that
also
I had to
remember the
scoot. My
traditions
phone
we
was
have here
dying.
at
I knew the
LSU.
movers
Yeah.
were coming.
And
That was a
the
nightmare.
traditions is what gets
That was
everybody
me.
fired up, hyped up. But it's also at the helm of leadership is what are all the rules and the changing laws and the things with NIL and all of that. It is so much. It's really a conundrum to balance it all. And it takes people with not just discipline, but with good moral values to make it work.
You know, it's there's a lot of change in our business right now. A lot of people are afraid. There's inconsistencies in our business. You know, on my desk right there, I have that thing. We always did it that way, and I have an X across it. You know,
Yeah.
and my thing that I help with our staff is, you know, what can make us better? Give me new ideas. I want to hear new ideas.
Hate to jump in. This is Talk 107.3 WBRP. For that full interview with Betsy Barnes and Verge Alsbury, please go to talk1073.com for on demand. Yeah, I forgot to turn you off, but yeah. Meaning they could hear what Verge playing.
And they could hear us talking?
Yes, that's on me. I'm
Oh.
doing 80 million things.
So they could hear us on Facebook and all, but on the radio, they could hear just him. Yeah. So you want to talk about Cajun Navy? Yeah. Oh, so right when the movers got there and got through the gate, all of a sudden we hear something that sounds like a crash. And then there's these men screaming, threatening each other and talking about shooting each other. I'm talking like we could hear it. Like I was like, yeah. And I was like, let's just move away from the truck. Yes, right after we got home. Like the truck got there, we opened it up. We were disappointed by the way everything looked. And all of a sudden, it seemed like these two people hit coming into the driveway or something. But it was full on. So I called the police department. I called 911 because they're talking about shooting each other. And so then they said call the sheriff's department. They had somebody like that. They took somebody away in an ambulance. So I don't know if somebody actually shot. There was all kinds of noise, yelling, screaming, and it was so loud. Like Victoria came out of the apartment thinking it was Peyton yelling at the movers. Yeah. And so I was like, wow, I hope that isn't James. I hope that isn't James. Thank God. That's the first thing I said. I hope that isn't James. Yes. So I talked to Todd Terrell briefly. Yeah. And I asked him if he wanted to be on. He said, I'll call you back. But he's always got so many things going on. So I love the things you're doing with Cajun Navy. So I do want to talk about that. And so I just want to talk about how you decided to do this, being an electrical engineer. And we'll share a little bit more about that. And so they can hear us. Let me this way. And I'm going to see if Jean wants to come sit in or she wants to come in next.
It's not that it's not licensed. They don't want to hear that. For whatever reason, the Facebook crew's like, we don't want to hear commercials. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, because the way they look at it, it's commercial. Yeah, they like behind the scenes. Yeah, we get part of that.
So is it Red Reed Vodka or Red Reed Distilling?
So it's, the name of the company is Red Reed Spirits.
Spirits. Okay.
But it's Red Reed Vodka. Yeah. So it's the product.
I'm trying to get ahead to where I'm not doing 80 things after I get off the show.
He's doing good. He's doing. Oh, isn't she? Oh my God. I'm in love with that baby. I'm so in love with that baby. I am. She's just sweet.
Yes.
She's just like, you're here. She looks at everybody that way. She's just, she loves people. She loves being around people. We took her shopping all day. She's just smiling at people, or she's asleep, never fussing.
Yes.
It was just amazing.
Don't hear it all.
Yeah. She just likes people. She likes to be held. Everybody smiles at her. She smiles. Nobody comes up and says anything. You know, they're like, strangers are constantly complimenting her. She smiles at them. You know, it's just like,
That's pretty good.
yeah, she's a happy baby. How did you enjoy the show?
I loved it. I loved it.
How long is it going to be there?
So they're going to have the artwork up for about 3 months.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would love Peyton to do his next show in that
Space, yeah. So we know the people who run the Shaw Center, so we can talk about it. We can get them in touch with, you know.
That'd be awesome. Have you heard anything else about the Thursday thing?
I'm going to hear after lunch, so I'll let him know
Yeah.
this evening.
Yeah, you can just work with him
Yeah.
directly on that. He decides what he does.
Yeah.
I don't decide. I'm not allowed to give his phone number. Is there anything extra that you might want to share or have me ask?
Just talk about the brand, the Cajun Navy partnership, and
Yeah. And where you can find it.
where you can find it.
That's
right.
huge.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so huge.
Yeah.
Can you talk about anything about the docuseries or no?
No.
Okay.
We've submitted it, but not submitted it. I'm talking to a production company, and we're trying to get the particulars and the layout and all that kind of stuff.
Well, if they, for whatever reason, don't cooperate, there's other production companies.
Right. Right. Yeah.
John is going to talk about, and you may qualify for some of the tax benefits that she's going to talk
Yeah,
about.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think y'all need
Definitely.
to talk. Are we coming back?
Haldane here. I want to remind you about the folks over at Matherns. I love how with Matherns, I can map it out by the season, right? All football season long, all basketball season long, all baseball season long. Love telling you about the Matherns on campus because they're the best for tailgating. They're right there across the street from Tiger Stadium in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center.
I wish I owned
Love telling you during the
Matherns.
legislative session, if you're making your way downtown, want to stop off for a great lunch,
wish I owned
or
Matherns
knock
at
out your
LSU.
groceries if you work downtown.
No, I wish
you got
I owned
Matherns
it.
right there on 3rd Street.
Yeah,
Well, all
I wish I
grilling
owned it.
season long, I want to send you out to Matherns at Kenilworth because they've got some of the best cuts of meat around. And in the back of the store, they've got A-Bear specialty meats. These are Louisiana products, and they are phenomenal. When you're firing up the grill this summer, don't just go burgers and dogs. Get a little fancy. Get into it. Bring on something that your family is going to absolutely love. Bring on something that's going to impress your friends. Hit up some A-Bear specialty meats. You'll find them at the Matherns at Kenilworth.
And you're back with Talk 107.3 FM in the 180 Pros studio. I'm Betsy Barnes sitting in for Brian Haldane. Thank you, Brian, for blessing me with the opportunity to be here this morning. I'm very much looking forward to, in our next segment, introducing you to James Williams. James is the founder of Red Reed Spirits, Red R-E-E-D
Yes.
Spirits, with vodka and with rum. And he's going to tell us a little bit about that business. As I mentioned earlier in the promos throughout the show, James is in a partnership with United Cajun Navy, and I find that fascinating. So we're going to talk about that. And after we speak with James, we're going to talk with Jean Trum with CSSI. We're going to talk about how anyone doing research and development can get additional tax credits, as well as cost segregation and how that could benefit your business. And then Bree Lynn is going to be talking with Breck. So we are really looking forward to understanding why you started a spirits company. You're an electrical engineer.
Right. Well, it was kind of a passion project that fell in my lap back in 2018, 2019. I met a 30-year master distiller right here in Baton Rouge.
Really?
Johnny Verplank. He worked for Caneland. Well, now Oxbow.
Yes.
So Johnny kind of mentored me. We wanted to do a cognac or a bourbon initially.
Wow.
Yeah. And Johnny kind of talked us out of that. He was like, you'll spend all your money. The cognac has to come from France, of course, being from Cognac, France. And he said, man, I make a vodka from sugarcane. I was like, Johnny, I've never heard of that. And he said, hey, I'm distilling a batch. Why don't you come back in about 3 weeks and you can taste it? I said, Johnny, I'm not a vodka drinker. I don't even drink vodka. And so came back 3 weeks later. He let us try the product. It was phenomenal. It was smooth, neat, clean. We kind of cultivated over 6 months, and the rest is kind of history. Now we have Red Reed vodka. Yeah.
Wow. So you're a solopreneur.
Yeah.
But you have found a passion for a different type of business than your education led you to.
Exactly.
But now you are also using it for good. So I was so thankful that you invited me, my son, and my family to a art show that you were sponsoring at the Manship Theater. Tell us just a little bit about that.
Yes, it was a partnership that I have with one of my long-term friends, Kedrick Alford. He's the curator at LMNOP Art, and he highlights different artists. And he did an art show at the Shaw Center. And
Saturday night,
yes, and it was phenomenal. And we sponsored it with a tasting activation. Yeah.
Yes, it was really great, and it's called The Monsters We Sometimes Become.
Correct.
You know, so it was very interactive with music
Mhm.
and with the art, and it was an experience. And then you had people that were draped, and they were the
I forgot what they call them, but it was like
guardians. They were the guardians.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guardians.
so it was really a neat experience. Y'all did a beautiful job. Great
you.
turnout. I love that. So tell me about your partnership with the Cajun Navy. And it's not vodka though.
Nope, it's not
But
vodka.
tell us how that happened.
So I met Todd Terrell about a year ago.
And we love the United Cajun Navy, the original United
Right.
Cajun Navy.
So we were at a moonshine festival in Leesville, and Todd walked up to me and he was like, "Hey man, what do you have here?" I never had met him before. And he was like, "Well, I'm the CEO of the United Cajun Navy." I was like, "Hey, I heard about you guys. I didn't know what all they did."
Phenomenal what they do.
But he said he was looking to partner with the Spirits brand so they can, get exposure to the Cajun Navy and all that they did. And I was like, "Hey man, we have a spirits company. We produce a sugarcane vodka," which he said he was very interested in because he was local here in Louisiana. And we talked over several months about what they were looking to do, and we formed a partnership behind it.
He talked about doing this like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I think he just had not found the right company, and it's because it was you.
Yeah.
It was you, and it was the right timing.
Yeah, we
And so,
kinda
but
clicked.
you're not doing the vodka for him. Tell us what you're doing for him.
So we do a spice rum. We have a rum line. It's called Cajun Navy rum. A spice rum with clove allspice. It has subtle notes like vanilla and orange extract. But it's a really good spice rum. It's twice distilled and it's 100% sugarcane. We also do an original rum with them that's twice distilled, and it's really clean, really neat. Both products are 50% raw sugar and 50% molasses.
And how are you benefiting the Cajun Navy?
So what our partnership, we do a licensing partnership with them, and 50% of all proceeds go back to the Cajun Navy for their search and rescue efforts.
Okay, you hear that? So what y'all need to do is get some Red Reed spiced rum.
Yeah, it's
What about
Cajun
the regular
Navy.
one? Cajun Navy.
Yeah.
Spiced
Spice rum,
rum.
yep.
And then what about the regular rum that's
So
not
it's
spiced?
Cajun, it's not spice, it's just an original rum.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's labeled Cajun Navy original white rum.
And so wait till you hear where you can get this. Easy, y'all. Easy. Tell them about where you've expanded to, because we do want to support the United Cajun Navy and all that they do. They're in how many states?
So,
and how many countries?
Well, they've effectuated 40 states and over 7 countries.
Yeah.
Right now, the product is just sold in Louisiana. We do have a Texas license that we'll be integrating into in the next couple of months. So we're in Total Wines, Calandros. We're in Oak Point.
Rouse's.
We'll be in Rouse's very soon, and Walmart.
Walmart,
yeah.
How many stores?
Yeah, 137 stores in Louisiana.
Okay,
Yeah.
Everybody 3 cheers for that. Because if you think about it, everybody benefits when there's a disaster, there's someone missing or whatever.
Right.
Everybody has benefited or supported United Cajun Navy in one way or another. And this is another way. You know you're going to drink your rum. You know you're going to drink your vodka. If you do that, it needs to be this rum,
right,
this
correct.
vodka, because then you're
Correct.
benefiting people who are rescuing and helping other people.
Exactly.
Drink with a purpose. Don't just drink for
like
drink
that.
for fun, but drink
like
for fun
that.
with a purpose.
I like that.
Yeah. So, how did you get these deals?
It's so I've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years, and it's just about staying consistent. We've just partnered with Neat Wines out of Metairie, Louisiana. So they've been kind of pivotal in getting us to certain relationships, and it's just you just have to keep knocking down the doors in order for people to let you in. And we have a phenomenal product. Once they taste it, I mean, the rest is history. Yeah.
Well, sometimes when other people quit, you just got to keep knocking on the doors.
Right. Right.
And I think a lot of people do feel like they want to help the United Cajun Navy.
Yeah.
And so that's a good extra thing that puts you in a different category to me than somebody else just selling some rum and some, some vodka. Now the vodka, not so much for the United Cajun Navy, just for a good time.
So what we do is with the partnership too, we give 50 cents of every bottle of vodka that we sell to the United Cajun Navy as well.
I really think that you need to target Alabama because in Tuscaloosa, they always sell out of vodka for the LSU game.
Oh,
if
really?
if it's a game there, they say, I'm serious. It's been on the news.
Yeah.
They sell out of everything. Like, I don't know who's buying all this, but I think it's the Tiger fans. And so I really think that you could sell a whole lot there. So Alabama might be a target. Go for the college
that'll
town.
be our next state.
Yes.
Yeah.
So about how much do they retail for?
So the vodka retails for $25.99.
Not bad. That's right in line with everything else.
The spice rum is $35.99, and the original rum is $29.99. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. So Rouse's, Total Wine,
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah. Calandros, the beverage store. We're in Oak Point and Alexander Harvest.
That is really amazing. Yeah. As a solopreneur, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I really am so happy for you. So where's your next big activation?
So we're working on the Southern University Athletic Gala. I'll be talking to them this week. We did the one last year and it was phenomenal. So we're just trying to get the particulars together.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll come together pretty easy.
Right.
Don't forget about LSU. We're 82 days.
Right.
82 days.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you need to be in Matherns.
Yes,
Since
definitely.
I heard the ad on Matherns, I think maybe you need to go talk to the folks at Matherns.
Yeah, we definitely need to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go to the stores wherever nearest to when I remember that I need to pick something up. So how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in an activation, they're interested in any type of partnership with you, and they want to be able to possibly carry your line? How can people reach you?
So you can reach us on Instagram at Red Reed Vodka, or you can go to our website. It's www.redreedvodka.com, and there's a place where you can enter your email address and get more information.
And did you mention to me the other day that you do tours?
So we partner with What If Distillery, and we can do a tour of that partner distillery as well. Yeah, just if you Google What If Distillery and call the distillery, we can set you up with a tour.
If you think about it, I've actually toured Jack Daniels and some other different distilleries. It's amazing the process, the ingredients, and all the things that they go through.
Right.
I love going to vineyards.
Yes.
I love going to different places that do things in a different way. I just think the flavor profile, how they come up with it, just all the steps, it's very interesting. It's not something I want to do myself. It's something I want to enjoy.
Right. Right.
You know,
the industry is amazing. It's
Yes.
a lot to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much, James Williams with Red Reed Vodka, Red Reed Spirits.
Mhm.
Baton Rouge based, y'all. We got to support our Baton Rouge businesses, and we got to support those people that are solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. And we got to support our United Cajun Navy.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, Betsy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. And so we want to have Jean Trum talk with her a little bit about how you can go ahead and save a little bit on your taxes. Be right back.
Haldane here.
Did we cover it all?
Yes.
I hope we did.
Yes,
I
yes,
hope
yes,
we
yes,
did.
we did.
I'm
To
excited.
remind
for
Me
you.
too.
about
Thank
the
you.
folks
Thank
at
you for having me
ExxonMobil.
on.
They've been in our backyard for 115 years. They've been our neighbor for 115 years. The oil and gas industry in Baton Rouge has been the bread and butter of our economy for some time now, not just here, but throughout Louisiana. And ExxonMobil has taken that 115 years worth of experience and looking to the future, not just locally, but globally. And that is going to mean carbon capture and sequestration. ExxonMobil wants to take every resource they have to make sure the next 115 is done safely, which is why, for you, for me, they've created a website called aboutlaccs.com. If you want to learn more about where ExxonMobil is taking carbon capture into the future, hit up aboutlaccs.com. Aboutlaccs.com.
like listen to how Brian says it and everything, and I couldn't get into anything last night. So
On your phone and your computer?
yeah, because it all has to go
Connects.
through the company to put in, and like their
Oh,
the
I need
security is
to,
super high.
I needed to change my password or something. I have to do that. I haven't done that.
Okay. I don't. What time did we fly out? Like 9?
I'm thinking we're leaving like 6-ish.
Yeah.
And the trick is going to be getting everything in the suitcase.
I'm checking a bag.
Are you?
Oh yeah. There's no way all that.
Oh, then
stuff's gonna
good.
fit.
Okay. I can do something bigger then.
Yeah, I'm checking a bag for sure.
I'll need
For
to do that.
sure.
You have to check one for me. I'll just pay for it.
Yeah, that's
Because
fine.
you're drawing out
Yeah,
there.
I'll check us in today, and then put another bag for you. Yeah,
That'll be
off to
easy.
Savannah tomorrow morning.
And where's the direct flight, right?
The one on the way home is the direct flight. I think we stop in Charlotte, maybe.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think we
looking
stop in
forward to
Charlotte.
it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Tony's gonna be there. It'll be good. That must be your phone out there. I was thinking somebody left their phone, but I think it's yours. Okay.
And you're back with Talk 107.3 FM. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, thank you for hanging with us this morning. I'm Betsy Barnes, sitting in for Brian Haldane. I always enjoy coming into the studio and getting to work with producer Bree Lynn. So thank you so much for everything you've
It's
done.
been fun.
Yeah, making it smooth this morning. So I want to introduce you, if you don't know her already, so many people do. Her name is John Trum. She's with
morning.
CSSI, Cost Segregation Services, based in Baton Rouge. You know, we've really focused a lot on Baton Rouge businesses today. We focused on Baton Rouge economy today. So one of the things that Jean does is she helps commercial investors, people that are owning or buying or considering buying different types of property, commercial property, rental property, Airbnbs, things like that, and them getting the most cost savings out of that. So thanks for coming in. I know it's early. I know it's raining.
It
So
is
thanks for
early.
coming in.
I'm glad to be here.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So we met, I think 15, 16 years ago. So you've been doing this quite a while. You're teaching me about it. I'm learning all about it. And it's basically a way that people can use to their advantage the tax system. And in many cases now, the one big beautiful bill that was passed by Congress and
Yes.
signed off by President Trump.
Lots of clients were waiting. When is 100% bonus going to be available? So yeah, we did meet about 16 years ago. One of my first clients was your boss at that time.
Yeah,
so
Jacob Fakori with
that's
Bass
how we
Pro
met.
Development and Magnolia Bridge Shopping Center.
Yes, that shopping center out there.
Broadway Place.
Yes, we've
Yes.
actually studied that because when Jacob sold it, the new owner actually did the study twice. So that's one of the buildings locally that I've personally helped the owner do the study twice, because as it changes hands, the depreciation starts over again. So I'm going to try to keep this super user friendly, not super tax technical for now. But CSSI, talking about Baton Rouge businesses, was started by Jim Shreve and his wife Becky out of basically their kitchen. And it was just, Jim was involved with a court case with the Hospital Corporation of America, to where they were arguing we shouldn't have to depreciate all these components of our building over 39 years when we have to replace them in 5 years or 15 years, something like that. So he was very instrumental in the entire industry to create a way, a systematic way, because you have to be systematic with the IRS and the government, right? So a way to create some standards on how to depreciate a commercial property or a residential rental or for-profit property, to where those investors and those owners can capture that depreciation more on the front end and use those tax savings to put back in their business or do whatever they want. I kind of tease of like, buy your wife some really great jewelry or go on vacation. But the idea is it's your money. You can do with what you want with it. And the idea is to use those tax dollars to further your business, to grow your business, and create significant cash flow through that. I was just downtown this past weekend with some friends, and we passed a building, and they a lot of my friends don't understand exactly what I do. So we see that building, that owner, we put $400,000 cash back in their pocket because of the work that we do. And when we first started talking, he's like, I don't think you can help me. And I said, the rules have changed. Let's just dig through the details. And that's what we do, is just create cash, find cash flow for commercial property owners and business owners.
And, you know, engineers and CPAs that work for CSSI do all the calculations.
Yes, I call them my special people.
Your special people.
They work in the background for us. Yes.
They're the elves in Santa's workshop.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a break. We're going to have you stay over,
Sure.
and we're going to be right back on Talk 107.3 FM in the 180 Pros studio. I'm Betsy Barnes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I think that, you know, maybe it would be helpful to say, you know, if you are a business owner, or you are investing in properties, or you've decided you want to take something you've inherited or some property you've sold and you're not sure what to do with it, things like that, it's good advice. But if you're a manager of a company and it's tough to come up with the funds you need and your owner is not aware of this, it might be worth putting a bug in their ear. You know, like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe this would be. And so also, if you are someone who is working in renovation or someone who's a subcontractor or an architect, it's good for you to know that they don't have to wait 39 years to get the full depreciation.
Yeah. Yeah, we can work that
Because there's
in.
so many different people listening that might be, like
Yeah.
I say, this didn't apply to me, but it might. Your business.
Right.
Your boss can give you a raise if he can depreciate $200,000.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Find that cash flow for your boss, and he might give you a little bonus at
Yes.
the end of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd like for you to share one of the most interesting projects you've ever worked on, or maybe on where somebody, it was one person, they acted like they didn't have much, but it turned out they had multiple places in multiple states.
Okay.
You know, because I think that's always a good surprise.
Yes. So I can share like a gargantuan one and one that is smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Just prompt me so I'll remember
I will.
to do that.
I will.
I know, because you're such a great interviewer.
I like doing this. This is fun. This is easy. No brainer. If I could just make lots and lots of money doing this, I would just do this. But instead, I'll do
You
other
can.
things. Yeah.
You can.
So we have, I guess, how many more minutes?
Sorry.
How many minutes till we come back on?
Oh, we still have like 4 minutes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, we can relax. What's Miss Carter doing?
She's at Big Daddy's house today. Will is working because they switched the summertime. Will has her during the week, and Reagan gets her on the weekends. So I was trying to explain that to her the other day, and she was like, "Oh, okay, all right."
She's easy.
Like, isn't it fun? You get to spend more time with your dad and JJ during the week. And she was like, but because it just recently switched because she's out of school. So yeah, but I'm not going to see her until next Sunday. Because that'll be the longest I haven't seen her.
That is a long time.
I know.
So who's taking care of your house?
That's a good question. Because
who's feeding Lulu the sourdough bread?
That's going to be between, I'm going to have to teach Marie how to do that, but between Will and Marie and my plants. Yeah, because it'll be fine. Yeah, but Lulu needs to survive more than the plants.
You can get more plants.
Lulu is a year and a half old. I'd have to start all the way over. Yeah.
Marie can do it.
Oh, he can do it. I went to go look at that. Patriot Preventative Care. We should have Max on.
We should.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should do.
They fire
Yeah.
it.
I'll ask
we air it.
Brian, when the next time I can host, or he can come on with Brian.
No, Brian's the
Yeah.
only gets aired.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny to see my here.
I know, y'all. I'm just trying to edit to where when I'm done, I don't have so much to do.
That's fine.
That's understandable. So Tony has been. They have a YouTube channel, and he's the editor. So he does they do all their videos. They interview at the like Comic-Cons and stuff like that all over the state and Texas and stuff. And he's been having so much fun doing that. His editing's getting better, for sure.
Well, with technology, it's a lot easier than it used to be with the splice tape that I used to do at LSU and KLSU.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah. Peyton had a really good interview on KLSU. It's like an hour long.
Oh, recently?
Yeah, like last Tuesday.
Oh, really?
And it was up on Friday. It was really good.
It was for his artwork?
It was for everything that he does. This
Okay.
guy saw him on Instagram and asked him would he come in for an interview.
I listened to his song. It's catchy.
I
for
know.
sure.
I love this song. I like that song a lot.
And he's just like
he and Victoria wrote that together.
He's a lot like you. It's like you could just see the kinetic energy about to burst and sitting there and just waiting to go blah, and that definitely did in that song. It's like listen to him.
I love the
he is not
lyrics.
mumbling whatsoever.
I really want that song. It's called "Luck of the Draw" by Peyton North on Spotify. I want it to be a hype video. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I want it to be a hype video for LSU football. So if the LSU brand, doesn't want to pick it up, I'm going to create my own hype video. And then he's got a music video he's working on for that.
So where's he doing all the production for this?
Oh, are we coming back?
Yes.
I'm hearing music.
I have to kill it. and
Excuse
move
me.
over, because what fires under ABC, I don't know what it is. Kate, I think it's some other syndicated program. So if I kept Selector 1 up, it would fire when it
Excuse me. How much longer till we come back?
Oh, like 30 seconds.
Okay.
20. Actually.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
It's like
I just want to make
down.
sure.
Sorry. Hold on. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Hang on.
It's like 20
Go
seconds.
ahead, Betsy.
Good morning. This is Betsy with Talk 107.3 FM in the 180 Pros studio. Here was John Trum. John can tell anybody anything about how to save money on their property. Okay. She's just that girl. So John is with CSSI. And so I'm learning quite a bit about the One Big Beautiful Bill and some of the different tax savings. But what's really important for people to understand is if you could save tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on your taxes, would you do it? I don't know about you, but I'd be running toward that. So I want John to talk with us a little bit about what she does for property owners and investors. If you own a business or you own a commercial property, this is really good for you if you're not aware. If your CPA has not told you about it, maybe you need to talk to your CPA or look for another one. If you're a manager or someone that works for a company and money's really tight and there's a way that you can save $100,000, $200,000 on your boss's taxes, you might be getting that long awaited bonus or week off. They might be really excited about that. So everybody can somehow share this information.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about exactly what CSSI does, because some people might not have heard you right before the hour started.
Okay. So what CSSI does, we're a firm that does calculations and valuations to offset taxable income, and also do R&D, which is research and development tax credits, which are a little bit different. But the bottom line is everything that we do really just puts and keeps more tax dollars back into a business owner's pocket if they're doing research and development, and also people who are investors in commercial property. Some of the people who qualify for cost segregation, 179D, the repair regulations, these are all different tax avenues or strategies where people who own commercial buildings or even residential rental apartments or Airbnbs, we work a lot with people who may not be tax professionals for tax purposes, but might have a high W-2 income or a high business income that's not related to real estate, but they have Airbnbs and they can use those deductions that we find for them against their active W-2 income or their business income. So really any kind of property qualifies. It's just you have to do an estimate to see how much it qualifies for. So if you have a tax liability in a given tax year, we can estimate what your benefit would be, and then it's up to then your CPA takes our numbers and applies it to your tax return, and you pay less in taxes. If you can't absorb all of it, it rolls forward. So it's really I would say about 90% of the time it is something worthwhile doing if you own commercial property or
You could
Airbnb.
own one rental unit of a condo at LSU or another university. You could own one thing that's an Airbnb that you rent out, or you could own 10, or you could own 100.
Yeah. It's all what I tell clients, timing is important. So if you own Airbnbs, or if you are an investor in commercial real estate, or if you have a business that does research and development and
like creating an app,
creating
a
an
website,
app. Yeah. And a lot of people
program.
Yeah, a lot of people think, white lab coats and test tubes, but there's a lot of industries that qualify for the R&D tax credit that they're just not. They don't think they would qualify for it, but there's a lot of companies like your previous guest. Distilleries do really great with the R&D tax credit, and we can get into the details a little bit more of that.
And storage buildings.
Storage buildings are really great for cost segregation and 179D, depending on how big they are. But again, like we talked about earlier, I've been in the industry for about 16 years now. And from just examples of projects, you were asking me what some of my favorite projects are, is, well, the one downtown that I mentioned earlier, it was a client that referred one of his business partners, and they were gutting one of the buildings downtown and applying historical tax credits to it. And
people think, they've got all the tax credits that
they
are
got
available.
Everything that they have.
They're like, oh no, we don't need to talk to you because we've got historical tax credits.
Right.
That is such a small piece of the possible pie.
Correct. So, and I like to dig into the details. And I said, just the rules have changed. Let's take a look at the timing and what you're doing. And even with the historical tax credits, we did not apply cost segregation. All the improvements that he did to his property were taken up with historical tax credits. But there's this thing called a partial asset disposition, that if you have a property and you're demoing it after it's in service, I know this is getting tax technical, but the bottom line is, because the timing worked great, he was willing to just dig into the details and find out what his benefit would be. And there was enough depreciation, because anything
you
that
get credits on what you tear out of the building,
right,
as well as what you put in.
Correct.
And people don't know that.
Yeah. People don't necessarily know that, and they don't necessarily know that it's a timing issue. So if we had that conversation much later in the year, there wouldn't have been time for us to get the numbers together for the CPA. So it was enough deductions on the depreciation left over from what went in the trash during his renovation that it was $400,000 in his pocket.
Wow.
Cash flow.
Talk about talking trash.
Yeah.
Cash,
cash
that
in
wasn't
the trash.
Talking trash.
Yes. Cash in the trash is what we like
to
say.
So he should be running around with a handful of your business cards to every single person that owns a building.
He is a repeat client. Yes. he likes working with us when he qualifies. And we do a lot of proactive planning. So I train my clients and the CPAs that I work with, some of the architects and construction specialists that I work with prior to a project, just when they're going through that development stage, if we can help them plan on the timing of certain things.
Maybe before they get their financing.
It helps.
The deals.
Well,
done?
with the banking and the financing, if you have an estimate on what your total project is going to be of what you're not going to have to pay in taxes, it just makes your loan or your financing look so much better, because if you're, in the first 5 years or even in the first year of ownership, you have that cash flow that you're not paying in taxes that you can realize on the back end once your building is in service. So really, it's anytime ownership changes within an ownership entity, anytime it's being bought, sold, changed, renovated, repaired, on those commercial properties or residential rental properties, just call us. We're the ones that help the CPAs understand a lot of this stuff. So, and we're not going to charge you, just to give you guidance on what to do when. Mm-hmm.
So, for those people that need to get out of the car and go to work, what is your email address, or how do you want people to reach you to ask these questions? Because you probably just opened up a lot of
questions.
Like, wow, maybe I could use that. Maybe we're going to be tearing something down or renovating something. How can people reach you?
My website is jtrum, that's TRUM, like drum with a T, at cssistudy.com. And you can email me at jean.trum@cssiservices.com. The website, you can reach me directly through there as well.
And you also need to mention in that email that you heard John talking right here with me on Talk 107.3 FM.
Absolutely.
The last time you were on, it was good. And we're going to be right back. We're going to hear a little bit more about your biggest favorite project.
Okay, great.
We're in commercial.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going through my closet, figuring out. Oh wait, other people can hear it. Trying to figure out what to wear, and I think I have some fun outfits.
Hi. That's fine. Okay. I just want to make sure that you didn't.
We didn't take a picture with Milton and Carson.
No.
We should have taken a picture with Milton and Carlson, and y'all got a picture with me and James. We need to get a picture of us. Add our collection.
It's weird hearing you. I got a
You don't have a twang. I have a twang.
I think we both have a pretty good twang.
We might have a little southern accent going on.
A little bit.
Okay. So you can immediately take a view, and then they're right there.
We want natural.
Right there.
So the lighting.
Take a look.
You're going to share that. Brittany, you got to get in a picture with us. We're going to stand by this before.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Here, you want to do it?
Yeah. I thought about you when I saw the Greenville Springs Youth Rodeo.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were bringing your boys.
You want to do it from that side? Or we can do it?
I can.
All right.
I love it.
I feel like
have
the
no
older I
idea.
get, the more squinty my eyes look when I smile. I feel like I'm like little slits.
I just had to get my Botox done, y'all. I'm like, cause genetically, I have a horrible crow's feet because I'm American. It's just when we age, and I know I'm not, but I'm
When
feeling
we age.
I know. I'm like, Mama, because it hit her too. Just like I remember being a little girl, and all of a sudden my mama aged, and I'm like,
What?
it's just the Native American genetics, I guess.
You got great skin.
You do.
I try. I have I would almost rather, I'm oily in my T-zone, but I would almost rather be oily all over, because if you're oily all over, you don't wrinkle near as fast. That's what they say.
I've been using what is it called? I'll think of it in a second. But it's close to our natural skin, and it's honey, and it's a combination of honey and oh gosh, what are they frying all the stuff in?
Olive oil?
Yeah, it's raining pretty good. Yeah. I'll think of it as I'll send it to Betsy so she can send it to you.
You got to share that with me, Betsy.
But it's been evening everything out, and I like it because it's
We're
not.
coming back in,
Yeah.
Hang on.
And you're back on Talk 107.3 FM. I'm Betsy Barnes, sitting in for Brian Haldane, here talking with Jean Trum about how can you save money like people that are multi-billionaires. You know, I wish I would have bought SpaceX stock when it first came out. I'm still going to have to maybe buy some of that. It's just interesting how these trillionaire, you know, Elon Musk, the first trillionaire. It's interesting how all these people that own multiple companies, they know the tax code because they hired people that know the tax code and they can pay them very well. Like, save me money, give me a strategy, all that. But people that are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people who are trying to invest just don't know all the ins and outs. You know, it's like trying to learn a line dance that's complicated and you're trying to keep up, but you end up tripping over your own boots. So this is a way, CSSI and Jean Trum offer a way to be able to at least understand it so you can kind of plan ahead. So you can do business anywhere in the country.
Absolutely.
I'm learning. There's a lot of I'm learning. There's a lot of things that are just amazing to me in what CSSI does. And you have met people that you thought, oh, they might have one or two little things, and they turn out to be huge businesses across the country. So what was one of your favorite really large projects, or what started out small and ended up really big?
Gosh, there's several. So the most recent one is because I do a lot of work with CPAs across the country. CPA sent some depreciation schedules and he said, can you help me make some sense of this mess? And it ended up being a portfolio that was probably at least $50 million in building assets, and they had never done cost segregation or anything. They never knew about it. And the CPA inherited some depreciation schedules that were done incorrectly from the previous CPA. So it's amazing how many
maybe they
people,
needed two different CPAs to work on a project, because that's probably not the only thing, the only client he has. So maybe he wasn't fully aware.
No,
not to ding CPAs.
Right.
But it's the workload.
The work that we do is it's a very small niche of the huge, vast tax code that we do have. And that's why CPAs use us routinely, because as it is, they hardly have time just to get the filings done for their clients, much less do some sort of detailed technical study on a building where they're not necessarily the experts in doing that. That's why they hire us to do this.
But there's free CPEs.
We do offer that's one thing that CSSI does that sets us apart from any other company that does this in the industry. We are the largest independent firm that does this kind of work nationally. And
Baton Rouge based.
Yes, absolutely. And what we do is we offer a lot of resources that are complementary to the CPAs, and even the investors like to get on just to find out more of some of the more detail oriented investors want to get on and just find out for their knowledge sake. So we do offer at least 6 complimentary CPEs for CPAs. They get at least 1 or 1.5 credits. It's online, it's national. So anyone who wants to can also get invites. So if you do want to invite on that, either email me through the website or email me directly at john.trum@csssiservices.com. And I can put you on my personal list to make sure that those invites get to you. I promise there's not going to be any spam. It's just for the invites in particular. That's what that list is for that. And the CPAs and the accountants, the people who are not necessarily a CPA, but we like to say tax professional that is handling people's books, just call us if you have any questions on anything. And we can get either offer guidance to you on how to apply certain things.
CPAs and engineers. It's not just people like plugging stuff in. These are people that are licensed for what they do. They're professional engineers. They know what's going on.
Correct.
And this isn't about the depreciation of the land. This is just the building. What you tear
land does
out
not
or
depreciate.
what you put in.
Correct. So the biggest project recent is they're based out of California, but they have collision centers all over the country. And the first year that we worked with them, it was about between the two owners, it was about 10 million in deductions that we found for them.
That's everybody's
Yes.
dream.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you
this
just
is
don't
a
get
very, yeah, it's medium to large investor in real estate. Some of it is resident. It's a big mix of things. They operate their business out of a lot of the facilities. They have rental homes. They have other real estate holdings that people lease from them, that kind of thing. But it doesn't always have to be the big, shiny, huge building. Sometimes it's, a Dollar General store. Sometimes it's, I've been on site at certain properties where I'm like, I would never have knocked on this door or called the owner of this, but they have fabulous results from their studies. One of the smaller studies that I did was for a family-owned restaurant in New Orleans where the dad had just passed. The mom, his wife has a step up in basis on that, but it was a very small restaurant, but they did a lot of repairs to the property, and the tax benefit on just the repairs was higher than the cost segregation study. So I think it was about $150,000 that they were able to keep in their pocket because they called and said, hey, what can we do with this?
Yeah, what really good
Mhm.
timing, because when the owner of the business, someone
Mhm.
who's, as we
Yeah.
talked earlier with ValueMate AI, with the founders of that,
Mhm.
A lot of times the owner has the relationships, the secret sauce, they know what makes it work.
Right.
And in a restaurant, same thing. But when you lose that owner and the family is left to sort of pick up the pieces and say, what are we going to do with this? And for them to get a huge tax credit, which $150,000 is a huge tax credit
Yeah.
in my book.
Mhm.
That's a gift.
It is.
But they
It
would
is.
not have known otherwise.
No,
They would not
usually
have
not.
known.
And I work with a lot of people who are just starting out on their real estate career, and I help them just know how to get things set up and when it's time to call me and do things, because what we do does not necessarily work for someone who doesn't have any taxable income. They don't need the extra deductions until they need them. So even the larger investors, sometimes 1 year might not make sense for them to apply the studies, but the following year, the whole idea is just to get the estimate so you can plan on what your tax strategy is going to look like over the next couple of years. And
But-
certainly before you do anything to your building, find out, because if you don't get the timing right, you can lose a good bit of deductions.
I mean,
on
timing
that.
by deadline, by tax filing deadline?
Well,
What-
tax filing deadline, and say you buy a property and you're operating out of it for 2 years and then you renovate. Well, you're getting rid of a good portion of your building, and if there's any depreciation deductions left over in what you're throwing in the trash, or if you're doing a big repair or something like that where there's disposition involved, if you don't take advantage of that benefit the year that the improvements are put into service, then you don't have the opportunity to take those deductions. And sometimes those can be very large. There's a client in town who just called who had cost segregation done. And so there wasn't a whole lot that we could do on the cost segregation side. But over the years, he's done major improvements to the property and major repairs to the property. And just on the improvements and the repairs, it's going to be another probably $200,000 in his pocket.
Amazing.
Yeah, cash flow, not deductions, because the deductions are closer to $500,000. And then whatever tax bracket you're at, that's how much the deductions are worth. That's the value of those deductions. Mhm.
So you do work with a lot of realtors also.
I do. I love working with realtors. They have commercial properties themselves, but it also helps sell. If say they have a client that's looking at 5 different properties, just send me the information. It's just a little bit of information that we need, just because we've done so many studies, probably 60,000 plus, and over the last 20 years through CSSI. And if we, again, you want a good investment, you want the right location, whatever. But if all things that way are equal, out of 2 or 3 properties or even 5 properties, if the tax benefit is better on one versus another, that could be the deciding factor in which one to buy or how many to buy.
And the person selling it may not even have ever taken advantage, but you'll be in the know and can take advantage.
Well, if
whether they did or not, you have
Right.
the ability to take
Right.
advantage of something they may or may not have known and may or may not share with you.
Correct. So it's a piece of the strategy, the
Buyer
investment
beware.
strategy. Yeah. The investment strategy for sure. So and there is another one as far as planning on the front end when you're doing new construction. Several clients have done this. It's called green zip tape. It's just switching out your drywall tape. And the IRS has approved to make that to where all the interior non-structural walls can be accelerated as well with 100% bonus, and that can double the tax deduction for those
Because you
clients
can
on that
move
building.
those walls.
Yeah, they're
no
considered.
longer,
Yeah, they're put into a faster class life, so you can take those deductions all at the same time in the first year, which has been huge for several clients. Mhm.
Well, so share the way that people need to reach you and
Okay.
say they heard something on Talk 107.3 FM. How can they reach you?
You can reach me at jean.trum@cssiservices.com or jtrum.cssistudy.com.
So thank you so much, Jean Trum. And we are going to be right back with Talk 107.3 FM. And Bree Lynn is going to tell us all about Breck. And we have some good things to share. And we'll be right back.
Time flew by.
Time flew by. So do I need to stay or do I need to move?
Go ahead and move.
Okay.
If you want to just hang back.
I'll hang back. I'll do whatever I can. Do you need me to do anything at the close or not? No? Okay.
Take it from here.
Okay, awesome. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We're grateful. Y'all have a wonderful week. It's a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
You need to change places and come sit over here.
I know. Well, somebody has to run the board, so I'm gonna stay here.
So
Hi,
how are you?
Hey, hello. This is Janet Simmons. She's
Hey,
the
Janet.
Superintendent of Breck.
Hey,
and
I'm
Maurice
Sean.
Lawson.
Good to see you.
Hi.
How are you, Betsy
Hey,
Barnes?
Betsy, you're not going to be doing this?
No.
Okay.
Bree Lynn is going to do it.
Okay,
She knows all
gotcha.
about Brad.
Right, do you need your
Good to see you. How are you? How are you? How's your mom? Everything going good? Are you working with Brad?
What's that? I like your necklace. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's called Postal Cross.
Okay.
Okay,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
It is. I'm
The owner of interim. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. I thought you said for a second ZOO, and I was like, wait a minute.
That's a new designation.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Sean Maurice.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Check out her page.
Normally, it would be Brian Haldane, but this is Mornings without Brian Haldane. I am Bree Lynn. I have Interim Superintendent of BREC, Janet Simmons, Maurice Velasquez. Good morning, y'all.
Morning. Good morning.
It would help to probably turn on the mic, wouldn't it?
Okay, there you go. Good morning.
So, with all the wonderful things BREC has going on, we are going to talk about the City Brooks Park Master Plan. You guys had a meeting last week. I heard it was phenomenal. You guys laid out 2 concepts.
We did.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
But before we get to all that, and before we get into an overall snapshot of, Janet, how your year 1 has been with BREC as an interim, what progress has been made, let's talk about the ballot.
Okay.
BREC is on the ballot June 27th.
That's this week. Well, right now with early voting, you can go and vote early now, and we encourage everybody to go out and vote. It's a renewal, so it's not a new tax. It's not going to increase anybody's taxes, and it's a renewal to help us pay for maintenance and operations. So maintenance being, think about owning a house and you have a tree limb fall on your roof and you need to fix that leak, because if you don't, it's going to cause more problems later on, right? So you got to take care of getting those things fixed, or keeping your house clean, keeping your bathrooms clean, keeping your grass mowed, all of those things that you need. And think about that being the maintenance portion. And then the operations is more of the activities that are going on in the park. So, for example, programs, camps, summer camp is activities, all the aquatics, the any kind of swimming things that we do, swimming lessons, swimming camps, swimming fun, Liberty Lagoon, all of those things. Those are more the operations piece. The senior things that we do for senior citizens, the adaptive programs that we do for people with disabilities. All of those things are our operations that happen on a regular basis. And that is what this particular millage covers.
That's what this tax covers.
Sort of when you buy a new car, you got to get the maintenance that comes along with it. You got to keep the oil grease. You have to keep things moving. So it's not, Janet, you were saying it's not a new tax, it's a renewal.
Exactly.
Yeah, the difference is new projects, capital improvement projects, new buildings. This is not what that's about. This is strictly operations and maintenance.
Keeping our parks open.
Yep.
So speaking of operations, Janet and Maurice, you guys have done a lot over the past year with BREC.
We have.
Quite a bit.
Let's kind of dive on into that. When you first took over as interim leadership, what conditions were BREC's operations under? And can you kind of give us a snapshot of what improvements have been implemented?
Yeah, so immediately when we first walked in the door, literally, we had a problem with our aquatics, particularly Liberty Lagoon, not being prepared to be open. And so here we were, Memorial Day weekend, and we weren't open. And we didn't open for another whole month. That was, it wasn't until July 4th weekend that we opened Liberty Lagoon. So we lost a whole month of aquatics, people being able to have swim lessons, but not only swim lessons, having the park open so that people could enjoy the summer, especially in this heat, in the water. And then the second thing was Far Park. Far Park was in shambles. It was needing so much work. And so immediately we dove into those 2 projects as an immediate, let's see what we need to do to take care of that. And then we started unraveling all of the other things that we were needing to work on. So Maurice is going to talk a little bit more about that.
We immediately took it in phases, okay, because you can't do everything all at once. So the first 3 initiatives that we did an internal survey of the employees. Give us your feedback across all departments, and we got a really good feedback. All the good, all the bad, all the ugly, all the things that were needing to be implemented and changed. So that employee survey gave us a very good understanding of where the staff felt things were going. Then what we did is we recognized that there was really a very weak or a very not as functional leadership team up at the top. Departments had a lot of departments that should be closer towards the top were buried in the middle or at the bottom of the org chart. Departments that really didn't have a voice needed a voice. Some departments that were split up were combined. So what we did is we organized the upper management team so as to give a better decision making across the departments. And then thirdly, like like almost at tandem, was recognizing that our record as an organization to respond to folks was not as high. So we implemented what we endear to this day, we still call it our rapid response system. Okay. And the rapid response system has been a tremendous success. But early on, what we did is we recognized, okay, folks are calling in, we get X number of calls, X number of emails, X number of texts. How good are we at responding, at letting folks know where things are at when we were very poor? So we immediately, by end of September, we had launched a massive program called Rapid Response. And the goal was to give folks a quick response as to where status of projects were. So that takes us all the way through September. So that in of itself was really big. Then we started diving into specific areas, which are primarily the project management. If you were to ask, what are all the projects that Breck is doing, there was a lot of confusion amongst the departments as to what are all the projects, where are we with all the projects, what's happening now, what's happening soon, what's happening later. And so when you have that level of miscommunication or non-clarity departments, well, it's hard to get efficient because what the right hand's doing is not telling the left hand. So we spent several months organizing that and making sure the departments were better at cross-departmental organization, cross-departmental alignment, and to create better decision making along the lines. You want to jump into any of these?
Yeah, so we still have some work to do with regards to that.
Yeah.
It's a massive amount, right? It's a massive amount of information. And if you look at all the different departments that have some kind of a voice into each one of those projects, it's a huge thing. And so we're looking at all of the different projects. We've developed a spreadsheet to list all of what we want to do in the future, capital improvement projects, any kind of new projects that we want to do, and then any deferred maintenance that we have out there that we've got to get taken care of. All of those things we've got listed on this one large spreadsheet so that we can best accommodate what our priorities are.
We're going to be making that public, but imagine in September not being able to know that. So it makes sense as to why there has been large complaint about Breck, because without a clear guideline as to what all the projects are and where are we, then it just presents a lot of confusion, right. and it doesn't increase a lot of confidence and public trust when you can't really disclose that. So the spreadsheet that Janet's referring to has been an ongoing exercise, which we're going to make public and be able to make really good decisions parish wide. What projects should happen now? What projects should happen soon? In what parts of the state? And ultimately, how much is it going to cost? So that was not an easy project. It has been finished, but certainly that's what we spent the last our biggest portion. Then we dove Q4. We dove a lot into employee development, creating scorecards, weekly rhythm meetings, and started doing a lot of internal training. And then in January is when we announced the RIF, which was a reduction in workforce, and that was very necessary. And we were able to arrive at that because of the things that we did between June of 25 and December of 25.
Yeah, so we've gotten a lot accomplished for sure, and there's still a lot of work left to be done. And so we're continuing to plot along and get those projects done, and working with the millage coming up. We really need that so that we can keep the parks maintained and keep the operations going. Most recently, we celebrated the ribbon cutting of the trails, the parkway trails that are up in north, the heritage trails that come down from Scotlandville all the way down to Memorial Stadium. And then we, of course, announced the name change of the Melvin Kip Holden Parkway. So that's both exciting. We're going to have a ribbon cutting for that coming up.
So
soon.
in the middle of working in constant developments, repairs on certain parts and ribbon cuttings, in the middle of all this with the new superintendent who eventually will come in, Brooks Williams, the new superintendent, what is still left to fix in your opinion? And here's the kicker, as you guys are kind of staying on and helping the new superintendent kind of transition, what's next? Especially with the new superintendent coming in.
That's a great question. And so he starts on August the 3rd officially, but we already are bringing him into our meetings. And so
that's great.
That's something that we want to make sure that he stays abreast of everything that's going on. And he is a wealth of knowledge. He has got a lot of information in his brain that is going to help the functionality of Breck itself, mainly because he comes from city planning background. And so he knows about what it looks like to work with a municipality. And he has that knowledge. So we've got 5 mayors on the commission, right?
Mhm.
And they all work within the municipality system, the city system. They know all of the laws and what they can do and what they can't do. Well, he's going to come in with that same knowledge. And so all you have is just a well-oiled machine, right? With
Right.
the new superintendent. So I'm super excited about him coming in and being able to take Breck to the next step.
You
next
guys
level.
did the hard work, and
Well,
now he's
that
coming
was
in.
that was
Yeah.
our job. Our
That
job
was
was
our
to
job, yes.
think of it like you find a garden, it's all in shambles. You can still get fruit from it. It's still
Mhm.
benefited. You're still, but it's got to kind of like redone. So you've got to retill the ground while not destroying the garden. You know what I'm saying? And yet when you retill the ground and you re-nurture it, well, then somebody else comes behind and starts, harvesting from it. That's our job. Our job was to retill, restructure, get it back up and going to some more of a stabilizing, and now him allowing the new administration to come in and take off with it.
Yeah.
You are listening to the Breck Room with interim superintendent Janet Simmons and Maurice Velasquez. We have a lot to talk about. The youth football camp we're going to have later on. Our special guest, Dodie Falcon. She is our volunteer manager. But the biggest news with Breck last week, let's dive on into it. City Brooks, the park master plan. 2 concepts that you guys presented to nearly 300 residents. Let's talk about it.
We did. It was an interesting meeting. It was warm, and we had a lot of people there.
We had a lot of people show up.
And so very well attended. Pleased with the outcome of people. We have we had 2 concepts to present, but we also have people who are on both sides of the fence. Right, you have a group of people that don't want us to do anything with the park, and then you have a group of people that want us to redo the park, and then you have those in the middle who want to see somewhat of a
adjustments,
adjustments, but maybe not a full blown change. So it's interesting to listen to everybody's thoughts out there and get their opinions and get their feedback, because that's what we're here for, is to get their feedback. So you want to talk about the stitch in the loop, or
no, you go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So there are 2 concepts. One is the big loop, which is basically having a big loop all the way around City Brooks Park.
Wow.
That goes around so that you can have trails and walkways and places where people can bicycle and they can run and they can walk. And then the other concept is basically like you would see a stitch, almost like a cross in between the middle of the park, going down through Dalrymple and then across the middle of the park. So both concepts can be found on breck.org/lakesvision, and you can find out more about that there. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
This conversation's been going on for easily 20 years. Okay. And we've even gone back into our records and found that, this has been going on for quite a while. However, what hasn't been happening, there hasn't been a very well facilitated, consistent conversation between the different parties. So it has stayed in the outline of the conversation, pretty much people talking at each other. And so what's happened is Breck has functioned in the last 6 to 8 months as a catalyst to have the conversation, and folks just aren't very happy that the opposing views are being heard. And so our job is to make sure that both sides, or all 3 sides, are being heard, so that we can better understand what is it that people want, instead of just having private conversations with groups that may have more influence than others. And we don't like that. So we decided early, no, we got to make it an open discussion. And that's, of course, created a lot of tension, because people don't want to hear what the others
People
have to
don't
say.
like change either.
And ultimately, and all of them have very valid points. I mean, when you listen to them, so that's why it's been so difficult, because it's been hard to hear what's being opined. But our job is to be that facilitator, to really figure out what's the best for the park and what does the parish want.
Right. Well, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk youth football camp, but also what is going on with volunteering, what is happening at Breck. Dodie Falcon next. Talk 107.3 WBRP. Bree Lynn, this is mornings without Brian Haldane, mornings with Brian Haldane, but we are doing Breck Room. Janet Simmons, interim Brett superintendent, Maurice Velasquez. Before we get to Jody Falcon and what has been going on volunteering wise at Breck, so many volunteering opportunities. Let's stop on in community once again. You guys just held that meeting at regarding City Brooks, the park master plan, but also you guys are having a meeting tonight, the Baker community meeting. You want to talk about that?
Correct. First of all, what we'd like everybody to just be more and more aware that there's a 4-step process in how we make decisions. We are regularly talking to the mayors about what's happening in their cities. Then we have stakeholder meetings to present to key stakeholders within each area as to what we're planning. Then we meet with the community at large on those same plans regarding what we're thinking. And then ultimately we bring it to the planning commissions, to the different cities, and to the mayors again. And eventually, of course, throughout the whole process, we're talking to our commissioners. So the point of this step in the process with Baker is to bring to the community the many different plans that we have slated out and we've laid out and we're planning on doing for everywhere from the I-110 corridor all the way up to Scenic Highway towards Baker and the ballparks inside of Baker. So it's to disclose what we've been thinking about, what we're planning on doing from the feedback that we've been getting from months past and years past from the community, but now updating everybody where we are as far as timeline calls, what the plans look like, what the master plans are looking like, and give everybody an opportunity to give feedback and input into that. That's what's going to be happening tonight.
Every city wants to have sports tourism.
Yeah. Yes.
Every city.
Yeah.
And so that's basically the idea here, is to increase the amount of sports tourism that we have in each one of the different cities in this East Baton Rouge Parish.
You want to talk about from earlier, you asked us, what are we behind on? That's what we're behind on. We are behind on sports punckless. We're behind on pickleball. We're behind on so many. Look, like we said earlier, when we got there and we asked, what are the projects? You'd be surprised how many projects we were months and years behind. And so now we're trying to revive them and ask the question, is this what everybody still wants? And come to find out, half of the time, the communities have already changed their mind. They've already moved on. And now they're asking, what are we going to do about this? And then the big question, well, how are we going to pay for all this? So what we're coming up with is what we're internally calling private-public partnerships. And so part of the conversation is to find out from the community what is the one in Baker. So we invite everybody in the community, in the Baker community, to come out 5:30 to 7 o'clock.
Yep. 7 o'clock. Okay. And where at?
Oh, gosh.
It's right behind the Baker City Hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the gym.
Okay.
Yep.
Not to keep our guest on the line, Jody Falcon. She is our volunteering manager. Jody, let's dive on into it. Lots of volunteering opportunities at Breck, correct?
Yes, ma'am. We have tons of volunteer opportunities. The unique thing about Breck is that we have so many different facilities. So we can meet volunteering needs as groups, individuals. There are many different volunteer opportunities. We have conservation volunteers. We have swamp volunteers, and at the zoo, and with horses, and you name it, we have it. Our next major volunteer opportunity event is going to be on the 20th on Saturday, which is our International Yoga Day. And that's going to be at the Independent Botanical Garden. So if anyone's looking for volunteer opportunities for a one-time unique event, our popular event at Yoga Day at the Botanical Gardens, you can sign up online. You can go to breck.org/volunteers, and it's going to link you to our Gift Pulse system, which is where all our events are. Besides that, we have many other different volunteer opportunities. We're actually starting a brand new volunteer opportunity called Rooted Together, which is going to be geared more toward replacing all those trees that we have down in the parks, either from the flood or from excessive rain. We have lots of trees that are falling lately, and there's a big need to replace those trees. So we're starting a 4-week program where you go once each week, each Saturday morning, and you're going to learn from our arborists about how to properly plant trees, how to properly water trees, and what trees need in order to replace them. And then come wintertime, you're going to help and replace hundreds and hundreds trees that we have lost throughout our park system.
So not only are people getting the opportunity to volunteer and also do good in the community, but they're learning as well.
Right. And you're going to be like kind of like a little mini arborist throughout this 4-week program.
That's
And
fantastic.
it's going to be a great program that we started. We're also starting a kind of like a coaches training. We have recreation coaches, and typically those are parents or grandparents of the players on the teams. But we have a lot of different teams and different rec teams that are looking for coaches, and a lot of kids that are looking for coaches out there. So we're going to start a new coaches training program in November for anyone that's interested in becoming a volunteer recreational coach, so that we can create more teams for the kids and the youth in the area that are looking for a great coach. And that's going to be coming in November.
That is fantastic, Jody. I hate to cut us short, but we are simply running out of time. But so many opportunities to volunteer at Breck. Can you give them the website if they want to volunteer?
Yes, it's Breck, BREC.org/volunteer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody. Maurice and Janet, speaking of recreation, speaking of coaching, speaking of sports, and it's summertime, time to get the kiddos out there. Let's dive on into youth football camp. What is it all about?
Yeah, we're super excited about that. We've got LSU offensive lineman Jordan Seaton is hosting a free youth football camp in Baton Rouge on June 20th. And it's going to be at Memorial Stadium. It's exciting. You have to sign up. So before we run out of time, I just want to make sure that everybody knows where to go to sign up. It's jordanseatoncamp.com.
Awesome. And what are the ages? Athletes in grades 2 to 8 will receive high school level football instruction and mentorship from experienced coaches. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it starts at 8:30 to 11 for the young ones, and then for the middle school athletes, grade 6 through 8, it's from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m.
Bring lots of water. I'm
Yes.
sure we'll have a
Yes.
hydration station out there as well, but it's going to be warm.
I keep telling my kiddos, I'm like, it's time to get off the tablets and get outside.
So spots are limited.
Okay.
So we really need everybody to just get in there and register now. As soon as it's filled up, it'll be filled up.
Okay. And I'm going to link this, talk1073.com on demand. You can get that website as soon as we are done. We are simply out of time.
Good. Thank you.
Time flies
Thank
by.
you. I know
Yes,
all the
it
time.
does.
Appreciate you.
Janet Simmons, Maurice Velasquez. This is the Breck Room, and we will be back at it again on Monday. Moon is next.
Go vote.